could be with anyone. I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me. You could be around for
You could be with anyone. I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me.
Hey, welcome to the Not Live Sunday Night Live After Show Party. I'm your host, James from My Take on Reality. Let me get a 1 in the chat if you guys can see me, you can hear me, and everything is copacetic. I just want to be sure I'm not sitting here talking to myself. Been having some crazy issues with my my streaming software. So I see some ones popping up. Thank you guys so much. Welcome to the show. Let me ask. I want to ask just a quick poll question. It's a simple binary question. Sometimes I do the little nuanced questions, little poll, that little spicy dice to the polls. This time I'm just going to ask a basic question. Are the tell-alls, or is the tell-all everything you thought it would be? There's a lot of gray area in there. There's a lot of gray area. Because it could be everything I thought it would be. Yeah, because it's terrible. Everything I thought it'd be, because I was looking forward to hearing Kody's side and listen to Robyn come out and tell her piece, and Janelle and Christine and Mary just combating those guys with intellectual ideas and logic. It's everything I thought it was going to be. I got to tell you, while that's ripping, I'm going to be blunt. Okay. And I understand that as I'm doing the show, some people may look at it and think, James, you're such a negative Nancy. You always have negative things to say about the Sister Wife show and production and TLC and how they're doing the show, and it doesn't make any sense. If you don't like it, why do you keep watching it? Here's the thing. If I am a consumer of a thing, I have every right to give my criticism or opinion on the thing in which I am consuming. So they're putting it out there for me to watch, for me to hopefully enjoy, and for me to consume. And so if I am watching it, I have every right to say, you know what, guys, this doesn't meet my expectations. And here's what I think you can do better. And when you think about it, if you went to a restaurant, right? And it was like, say you maybe it wasn't your favorite restaurant of all times, but it was kind of a comfort food thing. Somewhere you could go, you could kind of switch your brain off and you could just kind of just enjoy it. Maybe it's a pizza place, a burger joint, whatever, a coffee cotillion, whatever the case may be, a little cantina, salsa brava, where you can go watch a Brown family member getting a breakup or have an argument or apology tour and possibly get some delicious, carne casadas or whatever, right? If you notice over the course of time that you've been there, that the food is consistently getting worse, do you just, I'm just going to stop coming? Or do you say, look, guys, what happened? The salad used to be fresh. You the cornflakes didn't have raisins in it, little almonds, you don't say nothing. If it's something that you kind of cared about, that you've invested in, you want to say something. You want it to do better. I criticize this show because I want it to do better. I want them to do better. TLC, the same thing. TLC has a fantastic opportunity. They have a much bigger platform than I do. And I'm sure that's the justification or rationalization they use when I level my criticisms towards the show. Well, who the hell is he? He's just a little YouTuber. Right? What does he know? We're TLC. We have millions of viewers each year. Maybe even some of the Sister Wives cast are saying the same thing. But here's the difference. I'm just one voice of many. And as I look around, I don't see anybody sitting there saying this season is the most beautifulest season ever. It's amazing. I'm discovering so much. It's so interesting. If you are being honest, if you're being honest, you have to come to the logical conclusion that they, in this season of Sister Wives, didn't talk about fuck all. Okay, they didn't talk about anything. You know how I know that? Because we're on the second episode of the Tell All, and we're continuing a conversation from last week in which we only really covered what, one topic, maybe two topics if you stretch it out to the what's your secret talent that you like to do. The whole episode last week was about the backdoor deal. The first half of this episode tonight was about the backdoor deal. This conversation was a conversation that was drawn out much longer than it needed to be, and was drawn out much longer than it needed to be for the simple and sole reason that they are doing this one-on-one bullshit, whispered down the lane bullshit, instead of just sitting in the same room and one person says something and another person refutes what they have to say, and allowing them to exchange ideas. Stop allowing them to talk shit about each other behind each other's backs. Get in each other's faces. And now I understand. Some people will say, but James, these have been very tough relationships on these ladies. They might not have the strength or the wherewithal to be able to face their oppressors and the people who have subjugated them for years. And I respect that fact. But see, here's the very big subtle difference between us actually trying to do something that's going to be mentally helpful and beneficial to them, and producing a show. See, if we were really concerned, and if there's a real genuine concern about their mental health and mental well-being, they wouldn't have a show. They wouldn't have a show, because this is just merely all a show does. A reality show will do. Reality show or talk show. All it does is takes your images, and your issues. If you have a problem or a disagreement, if one disagreement can turn into basically 3 fights. You have the fight during the time when you had the fight. You have the fight during the time when they air it. Hell, five fights, really. You have the fight during the time when you have the fight. You have the fight during the time when you are doing a confession, because you guys are doing the confessionals. Then you have the fight at the tell-all, where they're reminded of what you guys were fighting about. Then they show them what they said during the tell-alls, the little secret conversations, like supposedly the inner thoughts. Then you're going to have the fight in the car about the fight that you had. Then later on in the comment section of a YouTube video, Twitter space, or Instagram, you're going to have another fight with the people who are commenting on the fight that you had, before. So you're at least 5 fights. Now, and this is part of the reason why not only I, but many people, not only on my channel, but on other channels as well, have said that, for instance, that if we like Christine and we like Christine being married to David, the best thing they can do is get their asses off of a reality show. Because sooner or later, it's going to, if they have any issues, those issues will not only be blown up, but they're going to be talked about, dissected, and it could eventually lead to the degradation and eventual destruction of their relationship. So if we're going to be honest about it, and we're going to say, well, they're too weak to sit there with Kody because he'll just pile drive him and he'll go crazy on him and they can't handle it. If that's the case, then they shouldn't be on the show. If they're going to be on the show, part of the requirement is you got to be able to defend yourself. This is actually one of the reasons, like if you like boxing or any combat sports, combat sports for the most part. This is why they have weight restrictions. This is why you don't have a guy who's like 350 pounds fighting a guy who's 150 pounds. Because the guy who's 150 pounds can't defend himself. I don't give a shit how fast he is, right? Because all that 350 pounder got to do is land one of the mitts on him one good time. And, not only is he going out for the count, going down for the 10 count, but they actually might be carrying him out on the stretcher. And they might be taking him out of the building, out the back with some paperwork on his feet, if you understand what I'm saying. So you don't have people punch above their weight. You don't have people punch above their class. And so I would be hesitant to say that somehow Kody and Robyn outclass these ladies. But if that's the case, then maybe like if you can't do the confrontations, then you're ill-suited to be on the show. If you can't defend yourself, then you shouldn't be there. This is the equivalent, like most recently, there was speaking of combat sports, there's Jake Paul and the brother that he fought from England. I keep forgetting that cat's name. Anthony Joshua, right? When Jake Paul got his whole face rearranged, that was an example, a clear-cut example, because before Jake Paul was fighting a bunch of calling it boxing matches, and he got an actual professional fighter license, so he could fight as a professional fighter, right? And when that happened, basically what the boxing association was saying was, this guy is qualified and has the ability to defend himself against trained professional boxers. And when he got in the ring with Anthony Joshua, who is a real professional boxer, not a guy who's damn near 60 years old, almost, mid 60s, knee problems and everything else. Great boxer in his day, still probably knock ass out, but great boxer in his day, but long retired, been retired for almost 30 years now. Or another guy who's, most of the guys come out of the UFC, retired, and they've only had maybe 15, 16 professional fights or something like that, 30 professional fights tops. And he's beating those guys. Then he gets a professional ranking. Then he actually fights a fighter. He gets beat so bad that the people who are in charge of the licensing revoked his license because he can't defend himself. Now, is that the case with Mary, Christine, and Janelle? That they can't defend themselves against Kody and Robyn? That when Kody and Robyn get up and they start to make assertions, or they start to lie, or they start to mix the truth, or give half-truths, or they're too tough, they're too wild, these women can't defend themselves? If that's the case, then they shouldn't be on the show. Because this tell-all stuff, this one-on-one shit, does not work. I'm tired of watching Suki go back and ask one person a question, they answer it, then she got to go back and ask somebody else what the question, or ask somebody else what their response is to this person's answer. Then she has to go back and try to say this answer to this person, and oh no, what they said was no, what they meant was, I want them to be able to sit in the same room. And if you level something against me, I should be able to respond back. Now, here's the secret. I think David could do it. Because I saw the preview when Christine is going to watch Mary's response to Kody. And Suki asked Christine, do you think you'd be able to talk to Mary like that, or Kody like that? And Christine's like, oh, no, because I just don't take Kody seriously. Whether you take him seriously or not, stop pretending like this shit is a joke. Like my homegirl said last week, clock in. You know what I mean? Clock in. That's going to be my new thing. I'm sorry, I got to take it. Like she said last week. There was Sharice You got to clock in. This is work. And sometimes you got to work their asses like part-time jobs. And to be honest with you, this whole like apology tour, because they went from talking about the big deal, right? Backdoor deal. And then they jumped from the backdoor deal to the apology tour. Because those are only really like, if we're going to take this all the way through to the end, because we're halfway through the tell-alls. Like, you know what I mean? Think about that shit. We're halfway through the tell-alls and we've only discussed 2 issues. Halfway through the tell-all and we've only discussed 2 issues. The backdoor deal, which we'll get into in a minute, which, the more they talk about this shit, the less that shit makes sense. And the apology tour. Now, the reason for the apology tour, I give credit to David, because David said what I said. This shit is not, the apology tour was never about the wives. It was always about Kody just going there saying what he wanted to say. He said exactly what I was saying. I mean, maybe David and I share the same bro code. I don't know. I don't even really believe in bro code stuff. I just think it's common sense. Right? But he came out and was like, he just wanted to come out and say what he wanted to say. I 100% agree. I think that Kody just had a script that he wanted to run because he thought that shit made him look good. And he was going to say what he wanted to say and he didn't care. I also appreciate the fact that both David and Christine were like, well, if I'm going to be there and he's going to sit there and say that in front of me, where's his wife at? And Robyn, well, are you serious? That's none of my business. Why'd I be there? That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's between Christine and David, or Christine and Kody. What I like about that is she is always the person who's supposedly never involved because it's not her place, but always involved when it comes time to try to come up with some stupid ass rationale on what happened and who said what. And we'll get into that in a minute. Because that is the most ridiculous part of the whole backdoor deal shit, right? But David said what I said. And I like the way he twisted it, or he turned it back and simply said, Robyn's the one who sits here and supposedly cries all the time about polygamous marriages and plural marriage. Well, with makeups come breakups. With love, there's a possibility of loss. That's what actually makes love so valuable, so hard to find. And so when you do find it, it's so cherished. It's not the fact that you have love, it's the temporary nature of it. And because you can love somebody until the day you die, but if one of you is still around, then that love is not permanent. You've lost that love, even if your commitment stayed faithful up until the time one of the partners or one of the people passed. And what you miss is that love and the fragility in that fact that it's not promised to be forever. So when you engage in a relationship, the potential of that loss has to be outweighed with the experience of that love, but it's an acceptable condition of being in that relationship. It's like if I talk to my son about possibly trying to date or talk to women, and because he's a young man, and I say, bro, if you want to talk to women, you got to get over the fact that you're going to get rejected. That's part of it. You're going to walk up to some women and you're like, whoa, how you doing? How you doing? And they're going to turn around and be like, no. I know. Who you talking to? No. Or if you ain't with their girls, they might laugh at your ass, right? And that's just part of it. But you can't let that stand in the way of the fact that, this is what you want to do. And even with that, when you get with somebody and you guys are starting a relationship, if that relationship breaks up, there is a part that you owe to that relationship, to honor that relationship. If Robyn wants to be the good steward that she tries to pretend to be when it comes to plural marriage, then when the people separate and they leave, then you not only have to be the good steward of the existing relationships, but you have to be a good steward of the relationship when the relationship ends. You have to be a good steward as you watch the people leave. And then you have to be a good steward if you're going back to have these conversations to talk about the previous relationship, then you are involved, because according to her, she's so invested that she cried and she refused to sell Kody pass because she just couldn't let it go because she loved these relationships so much. It drives me crazy. I don't even have a sense of reality. But when it comes time for you to do the responsible thing, all of a sudden it's not your place. All of a sudden it's not your place. It's not your place to talk about the breakup of the relationships. It was just like when she said about Mary, it wasn't her place to talk to Mary about their relationship and how their relationship broke up. That's funny to me, because when Christine was ready to leave and you said you had this whole bullshit conversation when Kody married the first Mary, and we had an intimate conversation, and he told me that if we break up, I need you just to let me go. I need you to let me go. And Kody, according to her, said, baby, if you leave, I'm going to buy you a house. If I had $1 million, I would buy you a house, right? And he's going to put your boyfriend up in it. He going to give you child support and pay you extra money to live next door because he's so generous. This is what the lie she sat there and told tonight. But then when Christine was talking about, I'm not happy, I want to go, you can't leave. Robyn was saying that. Robyn was saying that. So you made a deal with Kody that he can't hold you and keep you and hold you hostage, and he got to let you go. But apparently one of the other wives could come in, swoop in, and hold you hostage. Make it make sense, Dodo. Like, this is where it gets dumb to me. And this is why they all got to be on the same couch. You know what I mean? And then if we loop to the whole thing, like, I don't know. Like, it's just a bunch of dumb shit. Like, this is dumb. This is dumb. Because the whole premise of the one-on-one, it was supposed to give them like it was a nice little respite to give them a break, to be able to take their time as they were breaking up. But this is kind of like somebody who falls down and breaks their leg. And you're like, okay, well, stay down, rice, rest, ice, compression, elevate, right? Rice, RICE, when you get those kind of injuries. Rest, ice, compression, elevate, right? And that only works if as you heal, you actually get your ass up. Because you can turn a temporary injury into a permanent injury if you stay your ass on your back and you never get up. You never put pressure on your leg again. Your leg will atrophy and you won't be able to use it. Use it or lose it. You got to build it back up. You got to get strong. I'm scared. You got to build it back up. You got to get strong. Now, the way I saw the one-on-one and the way I defended the one-on-one was that it should be a thing where as they separated, and maybe they don't, at the time, they didn't have the strength. They needed to recollect themselves, reestablish themselves, and then they could venture back forward. Cool. But it was supposed to be, in my mind, it should have been temporary. It was a temporary solution. This never should have become a permanent mainstay where I'm going to sit on the couch and just talk to you individually. because it's too jumbled. There's not enough checks. Because even with some of these conversations, you know, as much as we may criticize Suki and say she does a bad job and she has her whole excuses of why she does the interviews the way she does, whatever. At the end of the day, some of these conversations, Suki can't properly cross-examine people because she wasn't there. These conversations that happen between two people, Suki's not there to question it. You can question what he said or what she said during the confessionals or maybe during one of the episodes, but even that is their perspective. The best way for you to hash this out, and even you know, our founding parents of America understood this. Alexander Hamilton and the rest of the cats understood this, that we have to have an adversarial system and you have a right to face your accusers. If somebody says something about you or implies that you committed some kind of offense, you should have the right to hear them say it and respond in kind, in time to what they say. Not just, you know, 3 months later or, you know, 2 hours later after they say what they say, somebody tries to jumble some notes down and say, this is what they said happened. I want to hear Janelle say, no, that's never what happened. That's not what happened. Because we'll touch on touch on the backdoor deal for a second. The whole backdoor deal thing. Oh, there was a backdoor deal and Janelle came to Kody, according to Kody and Robyn. Janelle came to them and said, let's just get this deal done. And as it turns out, Janelle had zero. It makes no sense. Like if Janelle was saying, let's do a backdoor deal, it's because the only way, this is the dumbest part of the whole thing. The only way the shit makes sense that Janelle would bring up the backdoor deal is if Robyn and Kody absolutely refused to move forward with the sale of the property. That's the only way it makes sense. It doesn't make sense that Janelle went down, signed the documents to transfer the titles right away. Not only did she sign the documents, she paid for everybody else to be able to come into the office and sign the documents. They didn't have to bring a check. Janelle covered everybody. That's probably why she had 2 days, right? Because I think it was like the 16th and 17th of January. Mary went down the very next day and signed the document. Couple days later, Kody went down. Now, why in the world would Janelle have to say, let's do a backdoor deal and screw Mary, unless it was because they were putting pressure on Mary to sign these other documents? It doesn't even make sense. Mary's refusing to sign the NDA and refusing to sign the settlement documents. Okay. But who's holding us up? Robyn. And she got jammed up with that. Like this is why that whole thing is so dumb. And this is also part of like because I'll read through the we got some super chats and I'll read through some of the super chats in a minute. But there's some things that we're gonna have to talk about, like with regard to this one-on-one crap. The whole like logic of what they said, you know, because like I like being right, like everybody likes being right, right? I see this stuff and I'm able to piece it together, and then I come out with my little videos or I get on lives and I make observations and I say, you know what might have happened, and this is just speculation, blah 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 blah, and I theorize just using common sense what potentially could have happened, what would have been the reason things would have happened. And then lo and behold, You know, not that I'm a genius and no shit like that, because some of this stuff is just basic. Like, these people ain't that smart. But it just comes out like, you know, you are right. Everything you say, they just basically say it. Oh, yeah. I said when we first heard about this shit, and it came out like, oh, Janelle and Mary signed the documents right away. Kody went and signed it, and Robyn held it out. That I said then the reason they did that shit was because they were trying to pressure Mary into signing those other documents. And they were using Robyn to hold it out. I said that shit. I said that the reason why Kody signed it right away, because that was supposed to be an act of good faith. That was supposed to be an act of good faith. Kody signs it right away. Yeah, you can trust me, Mary. See, I'm the holdout. I'm the one that's supposed to be the hard one. So you go ahead and sign the documents, girl. Because he knew in his back pocket he had Robyn. And a step further, if we want to be even crazier, if Mary would have signed a non-disclosure agreement, and she would have signed a settlement agreement saying that they were completely financially settled, Robyn wouldn't have to sign the document. And they could have sold the shit out from under Mary's ass. And it would be 100% reliant on Kody's willingness to get, because if Robyn doesn't sign a document to transfer to put to concede that Mary's name should be added to the other plots, her name doesn't get added to the other plots. The change can't take effect because you have to have Robyn's signature. And then both Robyn and Kody, Kody said that for me not to sign it. Yeah, because that was the plan. That was the plan. Just like it was the plan to convince Mary to sell her house in Las Vegas so Kody could steal her money. That was the plan. I said that shit a while ago. I said that a while ago. Right? Like these folks got me sitting here feeling like the great Kreskin. You know what I mean? I'm predicting the future and shit. Sitting here predicting the future. Oh yeah, Mary's going to steal some, they're stealing land. Mary, don't fall for that huggy-buggy bullshit. We could really come out here and restart our relationship, Mary. All you got to do is sell the house and give me the money. We get out here to Kody Pass. We're going to build you a beautiful ass house. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be so beautiful. Meanwhile, me and Robyn going to take the money from the sale of your house, and we're going to buy a house worth $1 million down the street from the place where I'm going to build my dream home. What? This is dumb. Like, this is dumb. I can't believe you fell for the old banana in a tailpipe, Mary. What are you doing? Right? And I like feeling smart. But here's the thing. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Oh, beautiful. That's so beautiful. Pete, I can say beautiful, but but here's the thing. A part of me, I like puzzles. I like putting things together. I like, playing logic games. I was a big, huge Sudoku person. I do Sudokus in pen, right? Expert level in pen, right? I like putting shit together. But here's the thing. On this show, we shouldn't have to read tea leaves. One of the things I don't like about what's coming out during the tell-all is that the idea of we have all these secret agreements that we're not going to talk about this, we're not going to talk about that, this issue that's going to be on the show, we're not going to reveal all the ins and outs of it. We're just going to kind of put it out there, and then we're going to rely on, and this is the part that annoys the shit out of me, we're going to rely on YouTubers, TikTokers, Facebookers, Instagrammers to be able to put the pieces together to make sense of this bullshit for our audience. That's what TLC is essentially saying to me. That's what they said to me tonight. And you guys correct me if I'm wrong. Because we shouldn't have to sit here. This is a TV. About to speak some French. This is a TV show. I should be able to click it on, and all the information that they want me to know or I need to know about a particular subject, they should provide to me. I shouldn't have to figure it out. I shouldn't have to crack open like a Purdon's or legal document. I shouldn't have to go to Westlaw or LexisNexis in order for me to figure out what's going on, what's possible, what's credible, what makes sense. Go do a whole bunch of researches, trying to figure out case law, previous cases, statutes, and everything else in order for me to find out what's going on. Oh, you got to understand civil procedure, have at least a first year in law school class in civil procedure before you can understand what is actually happening, why this backdoor deal never could have occurred. Aside from Robyn's objections, this backdoor deal, if they would have did that shit, would have definitely got them fucking sued. You would have gotten sued. Mary would have sued your asses off. Okay? And all the I'm buying this property and I'm gonna put it in a trust and I'm gonna try to hide my assets and confuse shit. That wouldn't have made a damn bit of difference because it's transparent what you're doing. A judge is not going to sit there and be fooled by it. You guys, the funniest thing about these people, as much as we sit here and talk about, like, no shade on anybody. We got people who come on and they're from polygamous groups and they give explanations as to what happens in polygamous groups and like what the inside deal is, right? Let me give you a little inside deal on the outside. Okay? We're not stupid. We're not stupid. Ain't nobody fooled by the idea that you took a house, you had a house with your first wife, you asked her to sell that house because you can't get your money from that house until she sells it, right? Or you get a partition order, which I was talking about with Kody Pass. You force Mary to sell it or give you money for your share, and that will require you to pay for that, right? Or unless it's in your divorce agreement. So Mary was happy in Vegas. She liked her house. So you convinced her to sell her house so that you could purchase your house, Kody, with Robyn. Because I'm tired of, and again, I'm standing on this shit. I'm tired of calling the McMansion Robyn's house. That was not Robyn's house. Why wasn't it Robyn's house? Because Robyn didn't have a damn down payment to buy that house. Robyn didn't buy that house by herself. Robyn was able to get that house because she was married to Kody, because Kody's other wives, girlfriends, baby mamas, whatever you want to refer to them as, gave him, ex-wife, gave him money so that he could put a down payment on that house. Those women bought that house for Kody, not for Robyn, because if Robyn would have went to him and said, Mary Janelle, you guys think you guys could give me like all the proceeds from your house so that I could house my little baby children? They would have told Robyn to kiss their entire asses collectively. You can do it one at a time or you can do it all together. They would have told her to kiss their asses. But Kody was the one who they gave the money to. So that's Kody's house, right? So you get Mary to sell her house so you could buy your house in Arizona. Then because you have the house in Arizona, all of a sudden, why is he so pressed about selling this? This makes no financial situation. The reason why they sold the McMansion was because, one, it needed a lot of repairs, especially after Kody dropped a shit ton of trees on it, and they didn't do any upkeep on the house. But two, they wanted to try to create separation from the, so it's not a straight line from the time that Mary gave them a down payment to purchase that home to that money. So they buy another house and pretend like, oh, the money came from like the equity and it's so confusing and we can't figure it out and we don't know. In addition to that, you put everything in a trust so that way it's not a personal liability. It's like it's a dumb way of going about trying to do LLCs. Right? If I have an LLC, a limited liability corporation, that gives me protections because in order for them to attack my personal assets, they have to pierce what's called the corporate veil. They have to go through a lot of protections because the LLC in and of itself is seen as almost an individual unto itself. So you have Kody Brown and then you have Kody Brown Entertainment LLC. Now you could sue Kody Brown Entertainment LLC because they're the ones that took the checks from the wives. But if they don't have any money or is it now defunct, your money is gone. Even though Kody Brown, the money was a pass-through to Kody Brown. Now, if you could prove, and it's not that difficult, if you could prove that the LLC was simply a pass-through to Kody for him to be able to collect the money from the women, then Kody's ass would be in trouble. And they would be able to theoretically, they could pierce the corporate veil and go after Kody's private assets. Same, folks. If he puts everything in a trust, Stonehenge or stone gravel or whatever trust it is, he puts shit in a trust, and a trust is just simply a pass-through for him and Robyn to try to hide assets. A judge could very well turn around and pierce that veil and say that is not a trust. That's just merely you just merely created a shelter to try to launder your money. So he could be in trouble. And that's why he did what he did. And we're sitting here like I said, back to the whole idea of like the tea leaf thing. We're sitting here, got to pick up tea leaves and explain. You guys should be able to explain this clean and outright. Straight up questions, straight up answers. The explanation of like, what happened to Mary's money? Oh, well, she had called and asked for 100% of the house. That's what I understood, Robyn. That's what I understood it to be. She asked for 100%. Yes, she did. Did you talk to Mary, Robyn? Did you have a conversation with Mary about that, Robyn? Bet you didn't. You just supposedly heard it from Kody. We'll get into that in a minute. Right? Oh, but I had 50% of the house. And I have to do a video of this because it's gonna be too, because I want to get into that. We're gonna do a deep dive on that. Like the whole I should have 50% of the marital home bullshit. Right? But Kody, I got 50% of the marital home. But you took 100% of the money. Right. But I deserve 50%. Mary said she wanted 100%. Okay. But I deserve 50%. Right. So because Mary asked for 100% of the house that she was paying for and living in, you feel like you deserve 50%. She's not acknowledging your 50%. And because she didn't acknowledge your 50%, you're somehow entitled to 100% of the house. Make that shit make sense. And that's why I wanted Suki to ask that direct question. This makes no sense. Well, Mary wouldn't sign a settlement agreement. Okay, did you offer her 50% of the house? Did you offer her money back? And if you notice, Kody kept saying that shit was a gift. Mary and Janelle gifted us that money. See, that's important. And Mary, I gotta ask you, Mary, and this is where, like I said, having just a little bit of knowledge would have made a difference. You know, what Suki's follow-up question, I mean, it was what it was. But she should have straight up asked Mary, Kody said you gifted him the 50% of the house. You're calling it a loan or an investment. My question is, Mary, did you sign an affidavit saying that you gifted him that money? That shit is important. Why is it important? Because if you guys had an off the books agreement that you were going to lend him 50% of your house sale, your share of the house in Vegas, Mary, and you sit down with him and you craft a document, which is technically now a legal document because you're submitting it to a financial institution in support of a financial transaction, a sizable transaction, you would actually be admitting to a felony. This is where the shit gets stupid. This is where it gets stupid. Because the only way you could say it was a loan is if you say I committed a felony by defrauding a financial institution, which actually is Fed time, like because banks and shit are federal. So you playing in the wrong pool. So my question is, did you sign an affidavit saying that this was a gift? And if you sign an affidavit saying this is a gift, one, either the affidavit is true, it was a gift, you're mad now, sour grapes, and now you want to call it a loan, or two, it was a loan, but you lied and said it was a gift. Or three, you didn't sign the affidavit, and Kody and Robyn lied to the financial institution saying that they didn't owe this money to anybody. Long and short, somewhere down the line, somebody is lying. And the only real question is whether they're breaking the law. That's the only real question. You know, and that's the whole thing. And like I said, the whole Kody Pass stuff, it's just, look, I'm just saying, like, the shit is cute for TV, and maybe like in the polygamous world, this is something that happens. Like Mel and Corey from Notes to Self 444, they probably could give a better example. Like, oh, this is how they do it in polygamy all the time, and slip, blip, 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 blip. But one, this shit is dumb because if you own a house, like if you're married and you write a letter saying that you're giving him the money, guess what, boo boo? You gave him the money because a court is not going to listen, especially in most states. Anything over 300, like in my state, anything over $300 has to be in writing. Any transaction where the consideration for said transaction exceeds $300, it has to be in writing. You can't do an oral contract on something like $301. It has to be in writing, right? A house and a transaction of $100,000, real estate, 100. And when it comes to real estate, as with most states or jurisdictions, it has to be in writing. It can't be something you guys agreed to verbally. You have to have the shit in writing. So, I mean, maybe this is what they do in the AUB or like some of these smaller communities, whatever, the lies they tell each other. But I'm telling you, the shit don't. When you get to court and you try to seek justice that way, things have to be done a certain way. Because you will get to court and they will tell you that there's nothing we can do. There's several problems with this whole transaction I've always had. But I'm telling you, like, you'll get wrecked. If you go there and you tell a bank, when you do, the reason why, just to clarify, the whole idea of Kody throwing a return, like, because I'm listening, and this is why I say when they sit there and say that they don't really give a shit about legal stuff and the government and all that, they are full of shit. There's a reason why Kody specifically used the term gift. Mary gifted us that money. Janelle gifted us that money because if you are putting in for a loan and somebody lends you the down payment, of that loan, that person becomes the first lien holder on that property. So I lend you money for the down payment, then you make that down payment because that goes in first typically. Then the bank will come in and say, here's the rest of it. Right? So technically they're making a second payment. You're borrowing that second payment. So when you fill out your documents, the bank, if you foreclose on the house, if the house burned the hell down and you was paying your marriage insurance tied to your that's tied up in your mortgage payment like the rest of us, that's how I pay my insurance. It's tied into my mortgage. Because my company wants to make sure, my mortgage company wants to make sure that gets paid. Because if my house burns down, they want to make sure they get their money. They don't give a shit about whether I get paid. They want to make sure they get their money. Because the house or the property is the collateral, right? So they don't want anybody in the way of them being able to get their money, recoup their funds. If you default or if something happens, they want to get their money first. And if you are a first lien holder because you gave them the down payment, they're getting their money second. They don't like that. So they're not going to give you the loan. That's not what's going to happen. So the only way, if your parents or your friends want to give you a down payment to purchase a home, they have to sign an affidavit because they'll go back and check your bank record. For those who don't know, when you apply for a mortgage, they ask for your bank records, right? And if they notice that like last, 4 months ago, 3-4 months ago, you had $1,000 in the bank or $300 in the bank, then all of a sudden your bank account went from $300 to $20,000. You're buying a $100,000 house, you're putting 20% down. Your bank account now is $20,300, and you're going to put down $20,000 on your down payment. The bank is going to say, whoa, 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 where did you get that money from? Right? The IRS is probably going to do that too, and the Fed's going to be looking at your money. Where the hell did that money come from? And you have to explain it. And you say, well, my mother and my dad wanted to help me out to get into this house, so they gave me the money. Now, did they give you the money or did they lend you the money? If they lent you the money, you can't use it. We're not going to give you the loan. If they gave you the money, we want a document that we're going to put into your application. It says that they don't have a right to come back and ask for that money again. It also goes to your extending of credit, because even if they overlooked it, that's one more person who you owe money to. Right? It's just bad. It's really bad. If you borrowing your down payment, it's bad anyway. But it is what it is. So that's why they're playing that game. That's why he's playing that game. But again, I don't like the whole, like, we're able to sit here and discuss it and put the tea leaves together and talk about it and hear the hints and listen for the little code words and, piece things together. But we shouldn't have to. Because as soon as Kody said that, oh, she lent me or she gifted me the money, I want Mary to sit there on the couch and be like, I didn't give you shit. I didn't give you the money. I lent you the money. You were supposed to give me that money back. That was the agreement. I don't know. Yeah, Kathy Ferran, they have to say it was a gift. They absolutely have to say it was a gift. Because if they don't, I'm telling you, like, look, I don't know about y'all. I don't know. Maybe the Mormons and the people, they do their loans different. Just in my experience, that's you can't nobody give you. They don't do that shit. Like, banks ain't gonna be like, oh, okay, no, that guy lent you 7 figures, 5 figures. Oh, okay, no problem. Oh, you got good parents. That's awesome. No. If you don't have the money, you don't have the money. They're not lending you nothing. It's just, but if that's a strong indication. Like, I've heard people bounce ideas like Linda, uh one of our OG triple OG subscribers. She'll say, like, I want the FBI to investigate them. Like, this would be an investigate, like this would be grounds for an investigation. I'm saying, you got one party saying that they lent them money, and you got another party saying that they were gifted the money. And this comes down to what makes this dangerous. And this is the part. What makes this a dangerous proposition is a lot like the financial stuff is a lot like very direct. It's very straightforward usually. And I say that because there's usually a paper trail, right? It's like the PPP loans when the 19 came out, the C19 came out, and the government was like, we're going to give you the PPP loans, like the incentive loans. And they were just basically trying to get money out as quickly as possible. And so if you had a business, you had employees that you were losing, your business was of certain size, you have certain employees, you could claim that, put the application in, and the government would rush you a check out. And some people got on YouTube, was like, I could teach you how to get a PPP loan, and I only want 10%, and we could get you the hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, if we say this. Like, yeah, people were saying they owned like a car garage and had like 8 bays, and they had 20 employees, and they needed $500,000 in PPP loans because they took a big loss. And if you go to the address, it's like a parking lot or like a burnt down lot with nothing there, or something silly, or like a 1-bedroom apartment or something. And then what happens is, when you go to court for that, their conviction rate on a PPP loan fraud is I have never heard anybody get off. I dare to say is close to 100%, if not 100%, because all they have to do is show up with your tax records, what you filed in previous years. Then they show up with your PPP loan application. The two don't match. So either you lied and you were committing tax fraud, or you defrauded the government by applying for a PP loan inappropriately. Either way, you going to prison. And that's kind of how this is. If Mary is calling that shit a gift, and if it was never reported that he received, and he's acknowledging that she gave him money, lent, whatever, he received money from Mary, and they go back and look into the loan file, and the file doesn't, in that application, they don't have an affidavit saying that Mary signed that over as a gift, saying it was a gift. Somebody in trouble. Somebody's ass in trouble. Okay? And how big of trouble they in depends on where the investigation leads. But somebody would be in trouble. Because that's a document thing. Like, you're working against that. Well, you can't say I didn't know. Because if you didn't know, you didn't tell them. Because the bank would have told you that you got to have that letter. So somebody is in trouble. Yeah. Stacy, straight to jail. Yep, straight to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Like, you look, I'm telling you, even keeping up with the board game motif, this is how you get your battleship sunk. You know what I mean? Oh no, you sank my battleship. Yep. It's bad times, Jack. Bad times. I'm just saying, like, it's just bad business. And I'll say this one thing. Even with regard to the whole question of the backdoor deal, let's talk about that for a second. Backdoor deal. Damn you, TLC. Because the more I listen to Kody and Robyn talk, the less sense that shit makes. Like, I know Kody and Robyn think they the bee's knees of communication, but they are the worst. They are the worst. the more they talk about it, the more it sounds like this is something that Kody came up with. And because it backfired on Kody and Robyn and they didn't get what they wanted out of the deal, it sounds like they're just kind of throwing Janelle on the fire because they have to say something. And I say that to say this. What evidence do we have about the backdoor deal, right? The stupid ass backdoor deal. Much ado about nothing, right? Janelle came to me and she said that she wanted to screw Mary over. Okay. Why would Janelle come to you and say, let's screw Mary over? Like, explain that shit. Like, when did Janelle do it? The only way Janelle could do that in that conversation, even if you gave Kody and Robyn the best, like I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. Everything you say, 100% accurate. Your lips, hand of goodness, right? What context would Janelle come to you and say, "Hey, you know what, Kody? I was just sitting gardening in Maddie's backyard. And as I was pulling some weeds up, I thought to myself, F Mary." like, why would Janelle decide? Like, where would she come to the conclusion that she's just like, screw Mary, let's screw her over, just for the fun of it, for old time's sake, let's just F her, right? The only way it would work is if Janelle, she admitted that she signed the NDA. She admitted that she signed the settlement of money. She gave up on the money. But I'm not going to disparage her. I'm not going to disparage her. I almost did it. Right? She signed the money. She signed the thing. And Kody, Mary went and signed the documents. So everything was set and ready to go. The only holdout was Robyn. And then Kody was saying that I told Robyn not to sign the damn documents until Mary signed these other documents that have nothing to do with Kody Pass. So then Janelle was like, you know what? We got to sell Kody Pass right away because we might lose the buyer. Let's screw over Mary. The only way that works is if she was going along with what Kody was doing. So Kody would have been the first mover, even in their if you take everything that they say for granted, like 100%. Kody, the only way that shit works is if Kody is the first mover, because otherwise Janelle would have no idea what was going on. Because that's the only thing that would make sense. Because otherwise it would just be Janelle just doing evil shit to be doing evil shit. That makes no sense. For no benefit. And then, of course, Robyn and Kody, they can't get their story straight. And this is why I say it helps to have other people on the board. Like, I know they scary and shit. Like, Janelle and them, conflict adverse. They don't like to have conflicts, which is weird, too. Like, I don't know. Like, everybody's teaching classes, but nobody wants to be able to, I'm going to teach you guys how to be able to get past, because Janelle has, like, a thing dealing with, she's targeting elder people who don't have disconnected or disjointed relationships with their kids, which is weird because they got written off or whatever. But technically you have a relationship with your kids, but your husband doesn't have a relationship with his kids. So if you're going to teach people how to reconnect with their kids who have written them off, shouldn't you be working with Kody? I mean, just curious, asking for a friend. But even Mary has like a thing where she, worthy up. But it doesn't seem like she's willing to have that confrontation with Kody or that conversation with Kody without having been prompted, prepped, or pushed by another person. Like, Jen has to be there to kind of goad Mary and get Mary going, kickstart her ass to get her into gear so that she can actually say something about Kody. Because otherwise, like she said, she was willing to not talk about a lot of this stuff. As much as she sits there, I will no longer be silenced. They will not silence me. I will never be silenced again. I will speak my truth. Except for the truth that I said I would never speak of, which is the most relevant shit. I won't talk about the most relevant stuff, right? And this is why it's important to have them all on the same damn stage to cut through the bullshit. And then Robyn, because again, Robyn, if you break that whole thing down, even if I take Robyn, I believe Robyn, which I don't, but if I did, even if I believe Robyn, she fought for Mary and she says she gonna stand in the breach and make sure Mary is treated fairly. I don't understand how you can sit there and say you want to make sure Mary is treated fairly, but you don't want to give her her half of her house money. But you want to make sure you're demanding that she be treated fairly on Kody Pass, even though you screwed over and took her whole house money. All the house money went into your purchase of your home. And apparently you don't know nothing about their lives, but you know about yours and your finances because you know how to budget. And you know what you got to know what your bills look like in order for you to budget. 1 + 1 makes 2. So in order for you to understand how to budget, you got to know what your bills look like. So you know how you pay for your house. You know how you got your house, the McMansion. You know you got that money from Mary. And in somehow, some way, you guys are saying that I want to be fair, but you never wrote Mary a check. It would make sense to me. And it would actually I think it would go a longer way in court. Is if you're saying that my understanding is I get 50% of the Vegas house. If I'm Kody, I get 50%. I was married to her. I got 50% of the house. Okay. And what did you do? I wrote her a check for 50% of that house. The value of that house is what I did. Okay. So clearly he believed that. You can't say, yeah, I had 50% of the house. I believe that. Then how much money did you give her? Nothing. What? Right? So, okay, fine. We'll go along with the story. Robyn stood in the way and prevented the breach. My question to you is this, Robyn. How did you come to your knowledge of the situation? You yourself said you didn't have a conversation with Mary. You weren't talking to Mary. You didn't talk to Mary because you wanted to stay faithful to your husband. So who did you hear from Mary about this backdoor deal? You didn't talk to Mary, and I know for a fact you wasn't sitting there conversating and talking to Janelle. You didn't pick up the phone and talk to Janelle about the backdoor deal. You never heard Janelle say to you, look, I'm going to screw Mary over. You never heard Janelle say that. Where did you get that information from, Robyn? From your crumb bum ass husband. You don't have firsthand knowledge of anything. Nothing she said on stage tonight was her hearing or having a conversation, her relaying a conversation she had with somebody about this backdoor deal. The only person she talked to about a backdoor deal was Kody. And in my mind, what's more likely? Janelle approached Kody out of nowhere and just started talking about a backdoor deal, or Kody started fostering an idea of the backdoor deal. He wanted to pursue the backdoor deal, but because Robyn's name is associated with 2/4 of the property, right? Robyn had her name on 2/4 of the property, not to mention she's married to Kody, and that house was acquired. That property was acquired after post nuptials, meaning that she has a vested interest in that property. That property is part of her marital assets. So she has every right to stand in the way and say, no, we're not doing it. So you need her to go along with it. So what's more likely, Robyn? You said that you want to be the moral person, and you looked at Kody and you were disgusted. According to you were disgusted at Kody's immorality and how he was approaching this whole subject matter. You don't think Kody knows that? So if I believe you, wouldn't it make sense, Robyn, that Kody very well may have come to you and lied and deceived you into thinking that this is from Janelle and it was actually something he was trying to do and he was trying to convince you to do, Robyn? Wouldn't that make more sense? I don't know, asking for a friend. Wouldn't that make more sense? You understand what I mean? Like he goes to Robyn and say, oh yeah, Janelle comes up with this thing. Janelle, she's doing it. I had nothing to do with it. You know me, I'm innocent. Even though I'm the only one who's going to benefit 100% from it. What do you think, Robyn? I don't like it. Mostly because it comes from Janelle. Kody's biggest mistake in that whole equation was the fact that he didn't say it was his idea and from him and something that he was going to institute to try to make sure that he secures the future of him and his kids. That's where he made his mistake. His mistake was he's so used to trying to pit wife against wife that he came in and started talking the bullshit about Janelle said. That's all Robyn heard. And she's like, F Janelle. So when push came down to shove, I think that Robyn turned down the whole notion of the backdoor deal, not because she was morally superior or she was trying to make sure people wasn't screwed over, as evidenced by the fact that she was literally continuing to screw Mary over because she still wasn't trying to give her 50%. Oh, I just want her to sign a document saying that we're financially 100% settled, but then I was going to go back and give her money. That's what you said when you borrowed the money in the first place. This is just a loan. This is not really our house. This is supposed to be the house for the family. But when you sold that house for $1.6 million, how much money did the family get from that family house? Holla at your boy. How much money did the family get when you sold that $1.6 million McMansion? When that was supposed to be the family house. And this house ain't for me. This is the family house. That's the way I see it. How much of that family money how much of that money went to the family? Nada. How much of Mary's first deposit? I'm not even talking about giving her the accrued balance or share of her investment. So she made an initial investment. The house was purchased at $800. It sold for $16. So her initial investment technically should have doubled. So if she gave a deposit of, say, $200,000, Mary should be receiving a check back for $400,000 because her investment doubled. She should be sharing in the equity of the home because that's how she did it. That was an investment. Now, is my math wrong? Maybe I'm thinking about this shit wrong because I'm not a polygamist and my mind ain't as sophisticated as their minds. If I give you $100,000 for a business and you sell that business and you double your money, I should be doubling my money too. My return should be double. I should be making a profit too. But you wasn't trying to do that shit. So why would I think that all of a sudden you trying to be fair? And why would I sign a document relieving you of all liability and personal responsibility when it comes to legal stuff, which is why you want me to sign it, but then you turn around and tell me the legal shit shouldn't matter? I must look like a new fool. If you think not an old fool, a new fool, like that fresh out the pack fool, like busting open a chip bag. And nowadays, you bust open that big ass, you get a big ass bag of chips, shit be like, this big. And then all of a sudden you bust the bag open, it's like that many chips. There's more air than chips in that bag, right? But that's what Robyn is. I must be a new fool in that new packaging. Because you telling me that I should trust you So I should forget my legal documentation, my sign away my legal rights because I'm gonna trust you to do the right thing. If we trust each other, why should I have to sign my legal rights away? We trust each other. So if you're gonna do the right thing, I don't need to like I'm one of those people. I don't need a court system or a judicial system, a statute or a law to tell me that I can't walk down the street and just grab people. Hey, what's going on, muscle man? Let me grab your chest. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, beautiful lady, let me grab. I like that wagon you're dragging. Let me see them hind parts. Blah, blah, blah. Right? I don't need a law that say you can't do that. I need immunity. How weird would that be? I need immunity. Because that's the only way I would feel comfortable. Moving through the world, I have total immunity, absolute immunity. Fuck out of here. What are you talking about? Ridiculous. You're such a ridiculous person at that point. So we should trust everything she say. But what she say don't make sense. And that's my whole point. What she says doesn't make sense. The only way Robyn would know about it is if Kody told her. And I don't trust Kody enough and his morality enough because he's demonstrated, like Robyn, he's also demonstrated that it's all about him and that he's greedy and he doesn't give a shit about what's right and what's fair, right? Because if you cared about what's right and what's fair, you wouldn't need people to sign documents. I don't need to have people sign NDAs when I do business with them or I deal with them. You know why? Because I don't screw them over. I'm not afraid of people coming out and talking about me and how they dealt with me and interactions I had with them and what they going to say about me behind when they behind my back or in front of my face. Right? It's just crazy. So the only way, if you know, because they like the court of law stuff, they like that court of law standard. In a court of law, the whole conversation between Robyn and Janelle and Kody, the backdoor deal, that will be something that is only held between Janelle and Kody. They are the only two people who could educatedly or intelligently discuss what happened during a backdoor deal. Robyn can't talk about it because Robyn don't know because she didn't talk to Janelle about it. There was never a point where somebody said, you know, Janelle was contacting Robyn about this backdoor deal. And it makes no sense. Like, because there's a couple pieces of land. There's two pieces of land, literally two pieces of land where Kody and Robyn are the only people on that land. So you can't have one person out. Again, could you imagine a world where a husband can sell his property out from underneath his wife without her consent? You know how many philandering ass people, husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever, would just, if it was like that, you could just be with somebody and then sell your shit out from underneath them. How many people would be getting screwed over? You come home one day and there's just a guy sitting there like, we got your moving vans in front of your house. Yeah, we don't live here no more. I'm going to my new apartment. What? It's Wednesday. What are you talking about? Coming home from work. Stop playing with me, boy. I'm going in the house. Oh, we don't live there no more. I sold that house. New people coming tomorrow. You know how many people would do that shit? Like, there's no way. Like, aside from there's no way it could happen. It makes no logical sense. Let's talk about some of these super chats. Let's see what folks have to say. We have Brittany Not Brittany in the house with the $1.99 super chat. All right, not Robyn putting on her damn She-Ra hat to save Mary. Yeah, right. I stood in the breach for Mary. I stood there and I looked Kody in the face and I said, You shall not pass, sir. I slapped him in the face with the glove and challenged him to a duel out back. Yeah. He say, slap somebody in the face with a glove, boy, somebody getting done. People getting carried out of there. It was serious, you know. Yeah, right. She all of a sudden she's defending Mary. Did you help Mary? Did you go? Why didn't you tell Mary? Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? Like, yeah, I'm serious. I wouldn't ask you if I wasn't serious. Stop asking me, am I serious? And answer the question. That's a stall tactic. When somebody asks you, you serious? When somebody says you want to hear the truth, no, motherfucker. I asked you a question because I want to hear a lie. Right? You want me to tell you? You want to hear the truth? Yes, I would love to hear the truth. Is that a new phenomenon for you? Is it a new exercise? Is it something you're not used to? Do you have to stretch? Because you might pull something if you try to burden yourself with the truth. or my favorite, when somebody repeats the question back to you. Why did you not tell Mary? Why did I not tell Mary? Are you serious? Are you serious? You don't know? Are you serious? You want the truth? Like, I think Robyn gave us the full triple, the triple combo. She repeated the question. She asked if you serious, and do you want to hear the truth? Truth is the true answer, right? That's how you know you get set up for a lie. But she was not standing in the breach for Mary. She didn't give a shit about Mary. Because it's all about, like I said, from the beginning, Mary's like, oh, they just trying to silence me. Why are they trying to silence you? I don't know. Mary, they trying to silence you because they was planning on screwing your ass over. That's the only thing that makes sense. Again, we got to read the tea leaves, and I hate this shit. Got to read the tea leaves, right? But if they're going to do right by you, especially with Mary, the idea that you're telling Mary that you're trying to get Mary to sign an NDA, Miss, I don't want to answer that question. Miss has been sitting on the sale of her home and turning over 100% of the proceeds so that they could buy the McMansion for at least 6 years now? Actually, longer than that. Because it's 2027 or 26. They moved out there in I think it was 2018. So almost 8 years. You've been sitting on that sale of your home and giving them all the money for 8 years. And you haven't implied it. You haven't said of it. You haven't spoke of it. You haven't smelt of it. You haven't talked about it. Now, all of a sudden, they want you to sign a NDA. You know why they want you to sign an NDA, Mary? Because they was planning on screwing you over. And they didn't want you to be able to talk about it. They were going to screw you over. And they didn't want you to be able to have the defense of being able to talk about it. The only thing Robyn cares about is looking bad on the show. She cares about money, and she trying to look good. And you being able to talk shit about her messes with her money, and it damn sure messes with her ability to look better than she already do. Because she already is kind of in the ain't shit, and most fan people think that she ain't shit anyway. But that takes her to another level. This is just another example of her being a thief, right? You're a thief. Well, what you would if this shit played out like I think it played out, you and Kody are thieves. Period. Full stop. To do what you're doing, like when you take shit that don't belong to you, and it's not like you were planning on giving them the money or it wasn't a big deal or you forgot about it. You intentionally set things in motion, put things into place so that you could do exactly what you did. That's the video I wanted to do. I forgot what I wanted to do with that video. But I want to do a video on that. This shit is not a mistake. This was a plan. This is how it's doing what it was designed to do from the beginning. This isn't like everybody, like the cast members are sitting here pretending like this is some new phenomenon. Oh yeah, I don't know what became of Kody and why he's changed. When we was younger, he loved me. I know he loved me. I don't know why y'all even talking about that shit. Fuck whether he loved you or not. He don't love you now. Because even when he loved you, supposedly he loved you, he put things in place to screw you over. If you ever walked out the door, yeah, he loved you as long as you were going along with the program. But if you ever bucked back against what he was trying to do, if you ever disagreed with anything he was trying to achieve, if you ever tried to stop him from taking advantage of you financially, he put in stop blocks to be able to cut you off at your knees. There's a reason why when you look at the documents, his name is on every piece of property out there. There's a reason why when he was talking about, even when he was going to break it up into 5 different lots, there's a reason why Robyn was going to get the biggest piece of property. Janelle was going to get the second biggest piece of property. Christine was going to get a little slither of property. And then Mary was going to get a little slither of property. And then Kody was going to get a little slither of property to add on to the other properties that he owned. Because even when he put Janelle's name on that second big property, he was still going to keep his name on all the other properties. Those properties were never going to be just in those women's names. Why is that? Because when he understood that when you get ready to leave, he would be able to hold that ownership over your head. And when you walked out of there, you spend your money to build a house on that property. You spend your money to beautify that property. You spend your money and your funds to maintain that property. And when you decided you wanted to leave and you wanted to sell that property, he was going to take half of everything you put into that property because his name was going to be on it. That's not a mistake. That's not a flaw. That's the design of the machine. That's the feature. You were always going to lose. This is like gambling in a casino. You were always going to lose. I went to the casino, I won like $50,000 and I gave it all back. Yeah. Because no matter how good you play, no matter how smart you are, no matter how lucky you are, the casino understands one thing. The only thing they need to do is keep your ass in the seat. No matter how much you win, all a casino got to do is keep you in the seat. They just keep you playing. That's why they used to give you free shit. They used to comp you a room, give you all the booze and stuff you could drink, maybe give you some tickets to go somewhere so you can bring your ass. We're gonna give you not only are we gonna give you some front row seats to Circus Soleil or the Blue Man Group, but we're going to give you a car. And when we give you a car, they're going to give you a ride. We're going to comp your room. We're going to give you some tickets. They're going to take you from there with your winnings. You going to have such a good time. We're going to comp you a free dinner at our restaurant. Then we're going to put you in a car, send you to a show, bring you back, give you all the booze you can drink, and you can start gambling again. Because that's the way they're going to get their money back off your ass. It's not a flaw. It's a feature. It's the way it's designed. The way this marriages were designed, Kody put his name on those properties in Vegas, Mary's property first, because he was married to her. The other women had to qualify by themselves because he couldn't put his name on their properties because he didn't have a credit. He didn't have a credit. So when he wanted to get the ownership of those properties or get the money from those properties, what did he do? Let's move and sell the properties. Then when you moved and you sold the properties, Janelle and Mary didn't buy a property. He took their full equity from their houses and put it on his house. The house he wanted to buy, that's in his name. Christine, she was so smart, she got her own house. Yeah, with his name on it. The only reason Christine got lucky, not outsmarted Kody, the only reason Christine got lucky was because Kody couldn't afford to he didn't have the credit to keep his name on Christine's house and get the McMansion. That's the only reason why his name came off Christine's house. Because had he had enough credit to he would have qualified for the McMansion and been able to keep his name on Christine's house, when Christine would have tried to leave, he would have took half her damn money too. Or as he said, what we're going to do is we're going to take all of the proceeds from the sale of your house. We're going to use that to pay off Kody Pass. And then we'll work something out where I give you the money later. That wimpy shit from Popeye. I will give you money on Tuesday. I'll gladly pay you on Tuesday for a hamburger today. The problem is he do that shit on every day. And then Tuesday come around, he talk about not this Tuesday, next Tuesday. And by the way, can I get another hamburger? Because I give you that money. I give you that money for that next burger next week. For the burger today next week on Tuesday when I get paid. It's the feature. It's the feature. It's just crazy. Just crazy. But thank you so much, Brittany. Now, Brittany, let me give you a little something with the Mega Mod Squad now. We got Brittany, not Brittany again with the $4.99 super chat. Robyn, others do not dislike you because you and Kody are a unit. They dislike you as the individual because of the BS you do. And I think that's true. I'm so tired and I'm sitting there talking about they just hate our love. They just jealous of the way we love each other. They just want to try to figure out why Kody loves me and he don't love them. Most people don't give a shit. I certainly don't. I don't dislike Robyn and Kody because they in love. In fact, I go on record again, saying the same shit I've been saying the whole time. If Kody would have been in a relationship with the OG3, and then he would have came out and said, you know what? I met Robyn. You know, she do something to me. She turn it out the way I like it. She look like our way she look. You know, her kids are fun. Whatever the case may be. I don't know what it is. Right? She like rubbing my feet. She can stand my stink. I come in and take my shirt off. She don't make faces or nothing. Right? You know, I love her and I want to be with her. Or he has recognized the fact I don't really care for these other women anymore. I don't love you. It's not going to work out. I'm sorry. No, my feelings have changed. I would have respected that. I wouldn't have liked it. I would have said it's jacked up. You know what I mean? That's messed up. But I would have respected it. I don't respect somebody who is leading people on, lying to people, making people think that there is a hope that the relationship could work out. And the only way the relationship is going, especially when you say the only way the relationship going to work out is if you do this. The only way this relationship going to ever work out is if you do that. Well, girl, you got to do this for me. You got to do that for me. I don't respect that part of it. That's what I don't like. That's the first thing that I don't like. Just be honest. I can handle, you know, any type of relationship as long as people are consenting to it and if they of age. That's, you know, those are my two guidelines, guiding principle. Got to be of age and you got to be able to understand what it is you get involved with and have a full download of all that information so you can make the most appropriate choice for you. Other than that, I don't have a problem with it. Do you, boo-boo? Y'all want to make a family together? Cool. But don't sit up there and tell these women that you want to be in a family with them and you lying to them the whole time. Oh, yeah, you're my wife, but I don't really give a shit about you. I want to have a bunch of kids, but I don't want to take care of them. Right? That's why people don't like you. It has nothing to do with the fact that you get along with Kody and you guys have a romantic relationship. That's why I think that TLC is failing the sister wives, not only the sister wife fandom, but I think they're going to eventually fail the sister wife cast because they're letting them spearhead the direction of the show and they don't have an understanding of how life works. Like we sit here all the time and talk about how ignorant and not ignorant, but how naive they are because they grew up in this cult-like situation or whatever the case may be, and they don't understand how the real world works. The problem is that you aren't trying to sell this show to people who are like you. You're trying to sell this show to people who are on the outside, people who have more complex or more comprehensive understanding of how life works. So, like this little bullshit storyline of, we're like Romeo and Juliet because nobody really understand our love. That shit does not work for a majority of us because we don't care. We don't care. We don't give a shit that you guys are. I don't care that you in love with Robyn. Oh, they mad because Robyn is younger than my other wives. I don't care. She's of age. Robyn was an old bird when you met her. I mean, it wasn't like she was this young little, 19-year-old fresh out of high school, or 18-year-old fresh out of high school, freshman in college, and you 40 years old. No, Robyn was in her 30s when she met with y'all. Y'all were in your 40s. So it wasn't that big a difference. She had been married before. She had 3 kids. She had lived life. She know how the world works. You knew how the world works. She's an adult. You're an adult. You guys decided to go off and fall in love with each other. Cool. Nobody is mad at that. Y'all just like the other women more. No. It's not that I like the other women. You know what I like? Morals. I like people with character. I like people with integrity. That's what I like. You know what I mean? I don't like clown ass dudes who think that they players, and the only way they could be real players and hustlers and ladies men is if they lied to the women in their life. That shit is lame. You're lame, dude. That's chump shit. What actually gave you more credence and more credit was the fact that you had multiple women and the women knew about each other. I would give you credit for that. I mean, you weren't lying. Okay, I'm going over Christine's house. I'm not going, and you tell Robyn that, and she like, okay, let me get your coat. Let me give you some orange juice because Janelle ain't seeing a little bit. She gonna dry your ass out. Right? Cool. But when you lying to them and tell them, yeah, guys, I need you to invest in this, or I need to, especially when you start hitting their money, because basically, and here's something too. And let me be the first one to say this because I've never heard anybody put it this way, but let me be the first to say it. I do not respect, as a general rule, and this maybe is a little, I don't know, jacked up, but I don't respect a man, and this is going to sound fucked up. I understand that. But I don't respect a man who takes advantage of single mothers. Let me say that one more time. I do not respect a man who takes advantage of single mothers. And when I look at this relationship and the way Kody did this relationship and he carried on these relationships, these women were single mothers. And he was financially taking advantage of these single mothers. And I, James, from my take on reality, have zero respect for a man who takes advantage of single mothers. Oh, it's okay because I'm giving up shit too because I got to go over there and hang out with them and their kids, so they should pay me for my time. You a bum ass dude. Okay, I do not respect a man who takes advantage of a single mother, especially trying to get money up out of her. I don't respect that. And so when him and Robyn sit there and cry and say that people don't like them because they was in love, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Not on this end. I don't respect neither one of you because, one, he was doing it, and two, you was going along with him doing it, and you were partnering with him doing it. You were a co-conspirator, Robyn. So I don't respect neither one of you. So let me be the first to just throw that shit out. Okay. I do not respect a man who takes advantage of single mothers. Full stop. And I'm going to leave it there because I feel myself getting pissed off as I'm talking about it. And as I start to put it in those terms, because it just quantified for me, I'm going to leave it there. All right. This live will go crazy. This live will go left. Right? I'm gonna go left. But I do not respect a man who takes advantage of single mothers. Thank you, Brittany. Appreciate you. You know, that is, yeah. You put it that way. You know what I mean? It's not because it's not just he was married to him. No, he wasn't. He wasn't having a full relationship with they were basically single moms. He sits there and talks about, oh, well, I was helping to pay for like their insurance. He can't even, the craziest part was when he said, well, Mary was paying all the bills, the mortgage and shit, but Kody was paying her insurance and stuff. Robyn, first of all, how you know what was going on in Mary's house? According to you, you wasn't involved in none of those conversations, right? You lying ass heifer. Second, that shit don't make no sense because that's not how mortgages work. So you just showing your own ignorance, or you think we're all dumb and you think you're the only person in the world who's ever bought a house. But two, what difference does it make? Because according to Kody, the care and upkeep of the household and the children in particular was all on the women. So you don't, as the father and as the husband, but definitely as the father, you don't have any financial responsibility to these kids at all. So Mary's not only responsible for the mortgage, she's responsible to put her child Leon into college and pay for their college. And she's also responsible for the day-to-day. If she need clothes, she need a phone, she need jewelry, she need gas money, she needs to eat food. That's all on Mary too. That's all on Christine too. That's all on Janelle too. But then somehow this dude is going to sweep in there and he's taking 50% of the house. Again, I do not respect a man who takes advantage of single mothers. They were living as single mothers, especially during COVID. That just made it more obvious. He just wasn't coming over. But if you go into your pocket, check your bank balance, ladies. Christine, Mary, Janelle, go home, pull up your old bank balances, your old bank statements, and try to see where he was giving you grocery money. And when he was giving you grocery money, was he giving you grocery money? Or were he basically taking your check and giving you your money back to pay for your groceries after he took his share of your money and pumped it into his house? Again, I don't respect a man who takes advantage of a single mother. I don't. Maybe that's my flaw. That's my weakness. Maybe that's my, they talk about like jealousy is a thief of happiness. And you guys who ain't polygamous, y'all just don't understand how the moral world works. Maybe that's my failing. But I'll take that L. I'll carry that burden. Thank you very much. Darlene Hall gifted One My Take on Reality membership. Thank you so much, Darlene, trying to keep the party going. Darlene was active on Saturday. She was in the house on Saturday. We had the live members live. She was in the house. We had the panel. It was lively. We had some fun. But thank you so much, Darlene. Did I say Darlene? I said Darlene Hall, right? I'm pretty sure I did. But if I didn't, thank you so much, Darlene. Keep the party going. In fact, you know what? I'm going to give some memberships. I'll give out some memberships myself. All right. So enjoy. Come to the party Saturday at noon. Holla at your boy. All right. Darlene Hall with the $2 super chat. Said the lie detector determined that was a lie. Yeah, they blew that lie detector up. That joke was on fire. First 5 minutes. As soon as Kody and Robyn sits down, they have like the EMS team show up and the fire department come on the other side. They got the smoke, you know what I mean? The extinguishers ready. Like they finna burn this whole studio down. That's why they not in a residential neighborhood. Because they'll blow the machine up. There'd be a whole little mushroom cloud right there. All the lies and distrust that they be telling. They can't even get these stories. They tell dumbass lies too. That's the problem. I think that's my biggest problem. You know, that's my biggest problem. Because y'all just, man, they tell the dumbest ass lies. Like I understand that people gonna lie, but don't insult my intelligence when you do it. Okay? You can put your lie, put some effort into it, put some, elbow grease into it. Sit down, think about this shit first. Don't just, I'm gonna just go ahead and say the first thing that come to my mind, and then if I have to contradict that in the next 5 seconds with a different lie, like that, just a bad look. But thank you so much, darling. I appreciate you. Give you a little something. Oh, and we had a Julianne Kinkle with the 999 super chat. Moral compass is a person's ability to judge what is right and wrong and act accordingly. Robyn doesn't act accordingly. Money compass is all she wants. In girl games, it seems. money compass and girl games. Yeah, right. Con artist. That's what he used to call it. Flim flam artist. That's it. That's Robyn's code name. Code name Flim flam. Right. That chick, man, she fugazi. Robyn is straight fugazi. Like every time you turn around, she got some crap coming out of her mouth that again doesn't make sense, and it cracks me up too because part of the thing with Robyn is like I've heard McKelty make the excuse for Robyn. Oh well, she doesn't want to be criticized, and before she was so active and she used to talk a lot, and now she's just afraid that everybody's gonna criticize her, make fun of her and shit. But here's the thing, Robyn, and I mean this shit, Robyn, girlfriend. Girl. If you don't want people to make fun of you, stop doing stupid shit. Stop doing the stupids. You come up with this little dumb shit. I stood my ground and I was going to stand there and defend Mary to the end of time. And I was fighting with Kody and I went to war with him. Did you mention it to Mary? No, I wasn't going to betray Kody. Kody was threatening me. Again, we talked before. I think we discussed this actually during one of the roundtables on Saturday. Robyn is setting Kody's dumb ass up. Because she said tonight, let's run the list. She said tonight, Kody threatened me. He threatened you? What did he threaten you with? And as I'm sitting there looking at Robyn, did anybody notice that little cut over Robyn's eye? This is like the this season's tell-all or the one-on-one is when I actually first started noticing that little cut over Robyn's eye. What does that mean? He was threatening me. Then she has the thing where she talks about like, because she love the kids, and in the event that they get a divorce, just from like the way she did shit before, she takes the kids. So when she sits there and she says that Kody talked rough to the kids and he's nasty to the kids and he got a murder face. Remember she said that? She described Kody. Oh, he gives them the murder face. And Cody's like, yeah, I do be doing that. Bruh, I've said this before. Look, when it comes to cases, you don't have a case. You don't make a case. You build a case. And all these little statements, I was scared. He's rough with the kids. He has a murder face and it scares the children. These are all bricks in the wall of the legal case that she potentially could be building against his dumb ass. And he's going along with it. So he's about to hand off, because if she ever leaves him, this is all coming back to biting him right in the ass. Because like the way they set up the ownership at Kody Pass, remember I said it's a feature, not a, it's not a flaw, it's a feature that you could get screwed over. The way she's setting up these descriptions of how he is around the house, the domestic relationships that they have, it becomes a feature, not a flaw during the course of your divorce, my friend. Just something to think about, Playboy. And they throw these terms around like, yeah, moral compass. When somebody whom I respect, or somebody who, even if I may question or disagree with maybe their methodologies or belief system, if I think that they actually believe the shit they're saying, they believe the stuff that they're talking about, and they say, according to my moral compass, I would give that more credence than somebody who will say anything, who will lie. You don't have a moral compass, because there is no true north. Like, compass refers to the idea of you having a true north, right? A point where you just say it is what it is. And in the case of this type of relationship with these folks, they don't have a true north. They don't have a set of ethics or morality that they operate from, and it's just the way that they do things through their code of conduct. They don't have that, and because they don't have that and they lack that, when they say moral compass, you might as well say flim flam skibba scam. It doesn't make a difference. Shim shala bim. It's just nonsense words at that point. Because the words themselves, the terms or phrases that you're using, don't have any real meaning. Because you don't have a moral. Your moral compass is, if it's good for me, F everybody else. I don't care. As long as it's good for me, then it's good. Good, me good, everybody else bad. That's their moral compass. Right? And that's just not how most people see it. But thank you so much, Julianne Kinkle. Let me give you a little something. Then we had a Ty up in the house. Sometimes Ty be coming through. She be dropping some gems. She's ready to get on the mic yesterday and start rocking it. But Ty came through with the $2 super chat. The BDD is a made-up storyline, a backdoor deal. No one agrees. Yeah, it's kind of hard to come to a deal when nobody agrees that there was even a deal. And it just seems like, and at this point, to be honest with you, it just feels more like a talking point than an actual issue, right? Even if it was something that was discussed, I mean, it's not a good thing that it was presented and it was agreed upon by Kody and Janelle as something that could have happened. Like, I would have felt more comfortable if Janelle was like, yeah, that's not happening. We're not doing that. Kind of what Robyn is lying and saying she was doing. I would have felt more comfortable about it. But I don't think that the backdoor deal, quote unquote, was as much of an issue as Kody and Robyn are trying to present it as. Like, I don't think it was a thing where they were arguing. Like, I don't think it was ever a point where Kody and Robyn were legitimately arguing about doing it because they were that close to making the decision to pull the trigger to do it. Like, I just don't think it was there. And maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm being naive. I just don't even if they had the conversation like him and Janelle, I don't think the conversation would ever rise to the point where it could actually be done. It could have been like an off comment, some bullshit you were kind of throwing around. We should just sell the property out from underneath each other. That kind of thing. But it was never it never rose to the level of, we should sell out from underneath everybody. I'm going to call the realtor right now. Okay. I don't think it was ever at that point. But thank you so much, Ty. And it's also not lost on me that this 100% plays into Kody and Robyn's little bullshit narrative, and it benefits them. Like, I'm not lost on that point either, because all of a sudden, these are the ones who don't want to do any more backdoor deals. These are the ones who don't want to talk behind each other's backs anymore. These are the ones who don't want to have like hard relationships where they are trying to tear each other down. They need to get past it and move to a point of healing and all that bullshit they were saying at the beginning of the tell-all. But you're insisting on bringing this up when you didn't have to. They didn't bring up the fact that they screwed Mary out of that money. They didn't bring that up. Not voluntarily. They brought up the backdoor deal stuff, and then all of a sudden they realized that the storyline was going to go left, and they had to come up with a distraction because they were looking like shit. And you just put more emphasis on it. You talk about it more. Thank you so much, Ty. Thank you something, Ty. We're gonna do it twice because it was so nice. Thank you, Ty. Then we had a Sassy Experience with the $2 super chat. That telephone tennis wore me and Suki out. Yeah, right. He said, she said, we said, we did. What you gonna say? Like I said, that fucking phone line shit. Yeah, we gonna run it down, whisper down the lane and try to figure it out. Put them on. That's why I say it's too exhausting. It's too exhausting and too confusing. Too much editing, right? Let them have a conversation. Let them have a full-on argument if necessary. But it's just too much. Make try to say it. Janelle did that shit. She did that shit. I don't care. Yeah, but I'm a big proponent on, like, before I was a little more gracious with the one-on-ones, especially right after everybody left. But I think that shit is long in the tooth now. It's played out. Like my girl said, they got to clock in. Like, if you here to work, let's get this work done. If you don't want to talk about it, you want to keep secrets, you want to half-ass tell stories, and the secret behind that, just so we can explore that a little bit. The whole secret behind we're going to present an idea, but we're not really going to talk about the details of that idea, is because then they get to hide behind the notion later that if you don't understand 100% every in and out of a particular subject matter, then somehow your opinion doesn't count. Your observations don't count. So if I don't tell you that, I'm going to screw Mary over, and you don't hear it out of my mouth that I was going to take the property and the way she sold her house and this, that, and other, and I took the proceeds from the house and bought the big mansion, and I don't tell you exactly how much it was, when it happened, and all that, and give you all those little minuscule details, then your opinion that I was ripping Mary off, if you're Kody, doesn't matter. And I think they play in that realm too much. But again, I'm down to get rid of this damn one-on-one shit. They need to get them all back on the couch. And I think I'll be honest with you, I think TLC played themselves, because in a rush to try to get them, Kody, to do the apology tour so you could keep the show going, you've created an environment where it becomes almost impossible now for them to be able to come back onto the same show and interact with each other. I don't see it. I don't see how it could happen. But we'll see. But thank you so much, Sassy Experience. Get a little something. We had SD Mac with the $5 super chat. Said, I think Robyn is the one who won't sit on the couch. I bet Mary and Christine would sit on the couch. Janelle might. I think that's right. I think between Robyn afraid that she's gonna get called out, and she gonna sit there, because Robyn's sitting there. Her only real defense is she can bully Suki. Or Suki. I shouldn't call her Suki. Right? Suka now. She can bully Suki. Are you thirst? She can bully Suki. But she can't bully those other cast members. She can't bully the other wives. And if she can't bully them, the only other defense that Robyn has, the only foil that she has in her, the only other arrow she has in her quiver is to sit there and start crying. And she's at a point now where nobody gives a shit about her crying. So she can't meet them intellectually and she can't meet them with emotion. So I don't think she wants to do the confrontation because it's going to make her look bad. Like either way, she's going to come out looking like dog shit. And I agree with her. Like you're going to look like dog shit after you get done. So I understand why she doesn't do it, but I think that it's time is like I said, I might change that to I gotta get a thing. Gotta clock in, gotta get it popping. If you show up and you want to do the show, you gotta do the show. If you scared to sit on the couch and you can't do the show, then you can't do the show. But it's like if I want to be a fireman, I can't say, you know what, I don't like ladders. James, at some point they might ask you to climb a ladder. No, I don't do ladders. I don't do ladders, I don't do height, and I don't do heat. James, that's the job. That's being a fireman right there. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, but see, I refuse to do those things. And you don't want to be a fireman. If you can't sit on the couch and have a conversation about what you did in the past, then you can't be a reality TV star. You can't articulate or describe your instances, occasions, experiences, thoughts, so on and so forth, then you are not equipped to be a reality TV personality. Sorry, not sorry. And that's not a shot per se. It's just, a lot of people couldn't do this. They couldn't sit on TV with a camera in front of them and have this kind of conversation. A lot of people couldn't have these kind of confrontations or conflicts and be able to respond to them. So it was no shot. It's just you're not equipped for it. So if you can't do it, you need to come out the show. But thank you so much, SD Mac. Appreciate you. Then we had a tie with the $2 super chat. Said Kody is a master manipulator. He is a triangulation-a-thon. Yeah, he triangulates. I think that's pretty much it. Like he blamed Janelle, and he made an issue with Robyn that this is what he wanted to do. And even if Janelle mentioned it in passing, or more to the point, he probably mentioned it with Janelle, and maybe Janelle agreed to it, right? And went along with it. But Kody went home when he was talking to Robyn. He had to, like, just logistically, he has to sell Robyn. He has to sell Robyn on the idea of doing it. And Robyn wasn't going to agree to it unless Mary signed those other documents. Mary and Janelle, because Janelle signed the document. She admitted that tonight. She signed the NDA. And I think she has a pretty good defense that if they all sign NDAs saying that they wouldn't discuss it, if they breach the contract first, it's very difficult for them to go back and try to sue Janelle for breach of contract if everybody's in breach of the contract. So I think she has that ability to defend herself. I wish she would have came out a little stronger as the thing was going on. But, if that's the case, but I think she's in good standing. But with Mary, she wanted Mary to sign those documents and she refused to sign the documents. So, it doesn't make sense. The way they keep describing the backdoor deal, it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. But thank you so much, Ty. I appreciate you. Let me get a little something. Then we have Brittany Not Brittany with the $4.99 super chat. Said, wait, did Kody throw a dig at David for working construction? Kody, at least he wears work gloves for a purpose. You pansy of a man. Kody wear work gloves too, and he cutting down trees, dropping them on his house. He works construction, so maybe he have a different understanding. I didn't get why. What difference is him working construction at? I thought maybe he was going to try to make the implication that he is crass because he works construction, because like the guys used to get a bad rap for what do you call it, cat calling women when they walk by, and he was saying like rude stuff to them. Hey, look at that wagon you dragging. Girl, you need to get some of that good stuff. Oh man. You know, all that wild stuff that they would say, basically sexually harass women as they walk past work sites. So I thought he might have been trying to go there to degrade David's opinion, basically saying that he's a person of low moral character anyway, because he's one of these type of people. Like that's the feeling I got initially when he said it. So I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just, not giving Kody enough credit, but that's just how it felt. Like it's almost like saying he's locker room talk personified, basically. But I do think that I think that was a dig. I think that was I'm agreeing with you. I think that was a dig. But thank you so much, Brittany, not Brittany. We have Tanya Kata in the house. Robyn saying she gave Kody half the proceeds from the sale of her house too. Like there wasn't a lien on it. This was a clown show tonight. Yeah, right. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but yeah, they just can't get it together. They just can't get that shit together. They just and again, I think that they go back and they're trying to clean up stuff that they had said before to try to make themselves look good, because both Kody and Robyn said that Robyn's house was supposed, he keeps saying it was Robyn's house. Kody's house that he shared with Robyn was supposed to be for the family and was supposed to be an investment for the family, not for Kody and Robyn. But both he and Robyn said that publicly. But then Janelle shared that in a private conversation when she was talking about adding everybody's name, since it's for the family, let's put the family's name on it. Mine, Christine, Janelle, Mary, name on the house. All of a sudden, Cody's like, no, that's Robyn's house. That's Robyn's estate, right? So he was drawing that separation. He was drawing that separation privately, but publicly, he made a different statement. So tonight, in all this season, he's been trying to make the concerted effort to try to clean that mess up by saying that they had gotten everything they were supposed to get, that they were 100% satisfied as far as any loans, debts, or anything that they were due and owed. They were already settled. The idea that the money or proceeds from the house sale was already settled, and that money was actually a gift, so it wasn't part of any deal. Like the whole thing was just basically like a patchwork. Like that's all this is. Like when you tell a lie, one of the complications is what most parents tell their kids. I know I told my kids, and as it was told to me, the problem with lying isn't the initial lie. The biggest problem you have with lying in the actual practice is that for every lie you tell, you're going to have to tell 3 lies to cover that lie. And then for every 3 lies you tell, you're going to have to tell 9 lies to cover those 3 lies. And it just goes down and it just keeps multiplying, because you have to keep trying to make up stuff to try to cover up the holes in the story that you just told. And then the biggest problem, functional problem, is you have to remember all the lies you told and the reasons why you told those lies so that you could build upon them. And at first it seems manageable, but after a while it's just completely unmanageable. And the easiest way to do stuff is just to tell the truth from the beginning, right? Because you don't have to try to figure or calculate the truth. You just remember the truth and you say it. And I think that that's what we're watching. We're watching like just poor patchwork on a bunch of lies that were told previously. But thank you so much, Tanya Carter. Let me give you a little something. We had a tie with the $2 super chat. Said the BBD story has changed 5 times. All lies. The backdoor deal story has changed 5 times. It's all lies. Yeah, every time they say it, it gets a little different, more nuanced, and it gets stronger. Like that's the weird part about it. Like Kody said it in the beginning, it was like just in passing. Yeah, Janelle just kind of threw out Now it's like Janelle was just trying to come up with this maniacal plan and she wouldn't let it go. And I'm like, Janelle, take it easy. You know, so it's getting weird. And the biggest problem that they have with the backdoor deal story is that too much of it relies on the word of Kody. Like too much of it relies on Cody's credibility. That's the biggest problem with the backdoor deal story. But thank you so much, Ty. Then we had Ty again with the $2 super chat. Said, you see how Kody was using Robyn as his pawn? Yeah, the whole time. And like I said, Kody, he does that because he'll say, like, oh, if he has a problem with one wife, it's never because he has a problem with a wife. It's because that wife has a problem with another wife. And he's kind of just stuck in the middle. So he's absolved of all responsibility when it comes to the issues and stuff that they have with the wives because it's not about him. He's just caught in the middle and they're blaming him because he's in the middle. That's the way he approaches it. And when he wants to get something done, I think he just uses the other wives' names as a means to get that thing done, especially if he knows it's going to go bad or it's going to make him look bad or it's just a bad deal in general. But thank you so much, Ty. Then we had Caramel Cuties, one of the OG, triple OG Mega Mod Squad members with the $5 super chat. Said, I feel like Robyn showed her whole behind tonight with Suki with her stank ass attitude, claiming she can't trust Mary. Hell, Mary can't trust Robyn or Kody, period. Period. Full stop, period. End of story. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Yeah, I don't think it's weird because Mary's in a weird position because she's still like I still see there's part of her that wants to trust him. You know, if she feels bad that she can't. But like you gotta deal with your life as it is, not how you want it to be. You know, you can't trust neither one of them. And saying that you can't trust Janelle, like, yeah, Janelle, maybe she had the conversation, but that's all stuff that was done by Kody and them. Like, if you can't trust Janelle, you damn sure can't trust Robyn and Mary. You know, or Robyn and Kody. You know what I mean? I can't trust Janelle because what she did to me. You definitely can't trust Robyn and Mary, Robyn and Kody. I don't even know why you pretended. You know, and like we all have our own different perspectives, all that trying to be understanding shit. Like, I don't know. Maybe you just understanding too much. But I agree with you, Caramel Kitties. Let me get a little something. All right. Then we had YouTube is my time machine with a $5 super chat. YouTube is my time machine. One thing that became clear tonight is that Robyn doesn't want Mary to get her proceeds to that Vegas home. I think she's worse than Kody, in my opinion. If she's not worse, she's damn sure right there. You know what I mean? And no matter how you slice it, she's definitely a part of it. And when I say a part of it, I mean co-conspirator, a part of it. Like, she's a major player. She's not just, she wants to play the role that she's just sitting there and she don't know what's going on. And, oh my goodness, this just keeps happening to me. I just keep winning. My bank account keeps getting fatter and fatter. You know, that's how she's trying to play it. But I think that, like you said, after tonight, I don't think there was, well, I'll take a step back. I don't think there was ever a question that this is who she is. But certainly after tonight, this is one huge example of her proving that fact again and again and again and again. Given the opportunity, she proves how selfish she actually is. Especially, like I said, as a person who came into a family with a shit ton of debt and got her debt paid off by family members, the fact that she's so unwilling and she's so unable to understand where people are financially and what they're going through and the fact that they deserve to have their fair share of money that they kicked in and who actually put into what and what went to what is insane to me. It's insane to me. You know, it's just, I don't know, just crazy. But thank you so much. YouTube is my time machine. I appreciate you. Let me give you a little something. Then we have Michelle Woods in the house with the $9.99 super chat. Said, I read somewhere a long time ago when Robyn was in HS high school. She was kind of a mean girl. I can see that. The sweet, shy wife facade slipped tonight when she was confronted about the backdoor deal. Yeah, she's one of those people. Like I said, you caught a glimpse of that, I think, back when they were doing a debate with that young lady who was part of the Kingston group at UNLV. And Christine's aunt, Kirsten was there as well. Kristen was there as well. But there was a young lady who has, like, if you ever really got into like her story, just terrible things happened to her. Right? It's part of being a part of a polygamist sect. Terrible things happen to her, like things that should never happen to a person, much less a child. And for Robyn to sit there and go after her the way she went after her and went after another woman who was being taken advantage of by another guy who was living polygamy or whatever, and to go after them and their experiences the way she did, revealed to me, like, that's when, you know, the first time I really saw the nastiness that was behind. Like, you saw the mean streak before, but you just the nasty person that she is. That's when I saw that. So tonight was just was merely a reminder of that person. It's like a callback to that experience for me when I saw that. The anthropology students, yeah, they nailed her. You know, I noticed Kody spends a lot of time with Saul. He does. I mean, that's because the teenagers. No, I mean with the other kids too. No, nah, lady. Nice try. We talk about Truly too, who's a little over a year, a little less than a year older than Saul. So try again. Yeah, but she's demonstrated that, and I agree. Tonight she showed who she was. Like, you have no problem, because if the situation was reversed and she found herself in Mary's shoes, she would be losing her mind. She would be riding the whole place up. You know, this is ridiculous, and who in the world? Oh my goodness, and the crime and the audacity and all that shit, right? But because she's winning, now all of a sudden she's misunderstanding, and we got to be patient, and we should trust each other. That's because you win it. Your bag is secure. You know what? When people say shit like that, we should just trust each other. Here's my response. If we should just trust each other, how about I hold the money? Right? If we should trust each other, how about you give me the money and you trust me? Because you're asking me to have faith in you and you're holding on to the money. Why don't we switch spaces for a little bit? Why don't you give me the money, you trust me? Because, you know, we should trust each other. And then listen to the excuses, start flying in a reason and be like, oh, you know, I mean, that's just different because it'd be too difficult for us to burp. No, we'd have to. That's not how my bank account's set up. I got it checking in the savings, right? But thank you so much, Michelle. Appreciate you. Michelle Woods. We have Brittany, not Brittany, with the $4.99 super chat. Said Janelle called Kody unsophisticated last season, so he cooked his backdoor BS backdoor deal up to prove her right. Yeah, right. I'm gonna show the world. I'm gonna show the world how smart I am, and like, and it's a completely unsophisticated plan. Like the plan is dumb as shit. The plan is dumb as shit. This is a dumb plan. This is on the level, like the backdoor deal execution is on the same level as if you sue me for child support, the state's gonna come in and take the child and they're gonna take all your money. So wait, I'm gonna sue you for child support, and the state will give me child support from you. But first, they're gonna take the child from me and raise the child themselves. Then they're gonna take all my money, but I'll be okay because I'm getting money just from you. It's the same, like the backdoor deal is described the same way. But thank you so much. And make that shit make sense. Brittany, not Brittany with the 999 super chat said, meanwhile, if Kody had split the damn property equally from the beginning, Kody and Robyn wouldn't be sitting on these damn couches looking like the goof troops, the dead dynamic dummies. This is so true. This is like, there's nothing like self-inflicted wounds. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you guys doing? This was so dumb. This is so dumb. Yeah, like even with like we're gonna force Mary to sign an NDA. Mary wasn't saying shit. Sign an NDA for what? Mary wasn't talking. That was the biggest problem. Like if you listen to Suki, she did an interview. And she said one of the biggest problems she had with Mary was the hardest interview out of everybody because she doesn't want to say anything. So, Miss, I'm not going to be silent anymore. She just say that shit. Mary's not going to talk. So why would you have her sign an NDA? Why would you blow your shit up to try to get her, to force her to do something she's already doing? And if you guys were and this is just the nature of greed, okay? They were so damn greedy. They're so greedy. And they're trying to pick up nickels and dimes. They're stepping over dollars to pick up dimes. You're so greedy that you've jeopardized your house and your equity for 25% of property that you should have gave her anyway. You still had her writing checks. Mary showed up and she was still writing checks, even though you still owed her money. That's the craziest shit to me, too. Like, you still owe me money. Why am I giving you more money if you owe me money? Just take the equity or money that I already gave you for the house, lent you for the house, and you apply that to the Kody Pass. Or the amount you say that additional amount you contributed to Kody Pass was actually my money. It's just dumb. It's dumb. But Brittany's right. If they would have just split the property up from the beginning, they could have got away with the proceeds from the house. Easy peasy. And nobody would have said shit. You know what I mean? Like you could have had them sign a document way back when, and they just would have wrote it out. Or have them sign a document saying it was a gift. And then at the same time, have them sign, because they're going to cheat. It got to be a cheat there somewhere. Have them sign that, and you divide the property equally. Everybody's name on all plots. Then when you sell Kody Pass, yeah, you're going to make some money on Kody Pass, but you already got free money from the house sale in Vegas, plus the equity that you get into the house in Arizona. Win, win, win. Like, what are you doing? Like, shoot yourself in the foot. Just saying. Kathy's ran like, you owe me a Coke. Saying the same thing. Like, it's just silly. Silly. But thank you so much, Brittany. I'm just saying. That shit is crazy. It's crazy and stupid at the same time. Like, you're winning. What are you doing? You're just so greedy that you can't stop. We had Negla 3 with the $2 super chat. Said you need to use the word You need to use brown math. LOL. I know. The math magicians, you know, because I take your 50 and then I use my 50 to take your 50. That's 100, right? So I'm gonna take my 50 out, but then I'm gonna take your 50 and put it with my 50 because they was together before. And in that way, I just take the full 100 because we don't want to break those two things up. Because you know, if they together, they're gonna rise together. Because if they fall apart, you know, a house divided amongst itself will fall. So just saying, that's what it say in the good book. Like what? Where does it say that in the Bible? I didn't say the Bible. I say the good book. And he pulls up a notebook that says the good book on it. This dude, man. Thank you so much, Nagel. I appreciate you. So crazy. So crazy. Shannon Ali with a $1.99 super chat said apparently Kody and Robyn just got a $750,000 HELOC loan. Yeah, we've been talking about that. That is the dumbest shit. HELOC is how equity is lost. How equity is lost. You know what I mean? But it's a home equity line of credit. So technically it's almost like a credit card against your house. So you can buy things like, fix your house up. You can use HELOCs for whatever you want. School loans, pay for school and education, moving costs, jewelry, dumb shit. But $750,000 of it, especially when you're on a show where your income may drastically drop off over the next 2 to 3 years, like go from $1 million a season to zero, and you take out 750,000. You know, what you gonna do with all that money? You know, and again, greedy. And the crazy part is, and I've said this before, and I'll share this here. Like the crazy part is that the way they do things on, at least historically, they would take out these big ass loans, or they would make purchases and they would do things with money, but they always had the backstop of receiving the other wives' paychecks in addition to their own, right? So if things start like okay, we're all going to just operate in our own budgets. Everybody's living in their budget. Kody and Robyn go outside the budget and they have a bill. They could always say, okay, we're going to reach into the family fund because we need help to pay these bills down or whatever. And that's what the family fund is for, to help us pay these bills down. And they had that extra resource. But now you don't have that extra resource. So when you take out a $750,000 loan or HELOC line of credit on your house, you're responsible for that. And the only real question I have is, are you guys able to do that by yourself? Because it's only been a few years. You guys have only had like a couple years of actually doing things independently. And whether Kody recognizes it or not, appreciates it or not, most of, if not all of his adult life, he's always had the backing of his other wives. He's always had people who are in position to bail him out. This is really the first time that Kody has been operating without anybody behind him that's going to prop him up. So that's why I think so many people are focused on the fact that he took out this $750,000 line of credit. Like that's the unspoken part. But thank you so much, Shannon Lee. Appreciate you. Then we had Negla 3, $2 super chat. Say, tell the truth equals don't have to remember lies. Lord Fauntleroy and Robyn. That's why I say if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember the bullshit. You just tell the truth. You know, you just say what your story don't change because it is what it is. You're not remembering like a lie. There might be some things you're like, okay, yeah, I got that wrong. That detail I misremembered, right? But your basis of your story don't change because it is what it is. But thank you so much, Nagel. I appreciate you. Get a little something, something. All right. Then we had Caramel Cuties with the $5 super chat. Said Robyn only wanted Kody's money and fame the whole time. She never wanted polygamy with Browns. She held grudges against OG3, OG13, and kept her kids separate. That's true. I mean, I think that's the whole reason why she joined the family. She came down, was interested in the family. Like I said, I've said before, you know, the one thing that's been missing from that whole like origin story of Robyn coming down and dealing with the family is that she drove 5 hours week after week to go to a church service because according to her, she wanted to get a different environment. So you are driving 5 hours, you're driving past other churches. Okay, you're driving past other churches because this is Utah. So you're driving past other AUB churches, right? To get to Lehigh so that you can, you know, attend this particular church. And the one thing that has always been missing for me is that I have attended other churches. I've gone to different places, even within the same faith, going to places. And usually, if you say, I'm going to go to this particular service, you're going to go see a person because the message that they're giving is something that you hear that the message is amazing, the delivery is amazing, or just something that you want to experience. So you go and experience it. I never heard them say that. Like the one person they had on that, when we went to temple or whatever they go, you know, church, they had this person up there and the way they delivered a word, just touched my soul. So after that, I was hooked. I was ready to move down to Lehigh so I could get a weekly, you know, dose of whatever truth this man is spewing on the pulpit. Like I need to get that in my life. Never heard her say that. It was all about like the thunderbolts and the seeing the dude she was liking and you know the itch she had and all that stuff. Like so it wasn't, and I think that you know, I don't know, maybe it's reflective of my personality or whatever. Maybe it's my failing, but I wouldn't drive 5 hours to hear a speech. Like, you know, they got a DVD or, you know, they streaming it. Is it on YouTube or something? I can go watch it. I don't know if I drive 5 hours week after week to hear somebody talk, you know, so it makes more sense that she was going down there for a purpose. And that purpose being that she heard that there was a family who was about to get a TV show. She thought that she wanted to be a star. I mean, hell, that dance video, she didn't shoot that because she wanted to just, you know, shoot a little dance video. That's an audition video. Let's talk about that. That's an audition video. Like she was auditioning for something. When she made that the bebop, you know, breakdancing video. I used to do crazy things on the floor. That was an audition tape. So she's been trying to get into the business. And so here you are with a guy who's about to get into the business, the thing that you want to do. So you pack your kids up, 3 little kids, drive 5 hours for the prospect of you getting into this relationship. And she basically Weinsteined her way into the damn spot. You know what I mean? The casting couch, 100%. You know what I mean? Like this isn't built on talent. This is built on favors. Your participation in the show isn't built like, oh man, you know that girl Robyn, she brings something. There's something about her personality. I think she would really add to the project. It wasn't one of those. You sleeping and bumping and jumping on one of the cast members so that you can get on the show. But 100%. Don't sit there and I love the family. Again, the one Reddit person said that. Anytime she says, I love the family, I'm ready to sacrifice for the family, just swap family out with show. And her statements make way more sense. I love the family. I'm here for the family. I love the show. I'm here for the show. I want to keep the show together. Now I want to keep the family together. I want to do whatever it takes to keep the family together. When we bought Kody Pass, it was for the family. You bought Kody Pass because it was for the show. You bought Kody Pass because that was a place you could film at. That's why you bought Kody Pass. It was a storyline for the show. You know, that's all it. Like, come on now, just swap out family for show, and the shit makes sense. That's that bottom line. But thank you so much, Karma Cuties. Appreciate you. OG, Triple OG, Mega Mod Squad in the house. Y'all caught me drinking. It's just water, though. Lizzie B gifted one My Take on Reality membership. Lizzie B, one of the OG, Triple OG. We had a trifecta. We had Brittany, not Brittany, Karma Cuties, Lizzie B in the house. What? The whole squad is here. The squad is here. The squad is here. Thank you so much, Lizzie B. Appreciate you. All right. Then we had Mustang Sally. Mustang Sally. Oh. With the $9.99 super chat. Said Kody admitted tonight, got on the show, that the backdoor deal was just an idea. He knew it couldn't be done that way. Now the NDA mess was a different deal with Kody signing and Sabin holding out. Yeah, because they got to be able to explain the difference of like, okay, well, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you insist on an NDA and Robyn had nothing to do with it? But Robyn was the last one to sign it. And by last one to sign it doesn't mean like they started signing the documents mid-January, right? And it's public records. So it's not even something that they can lie about or try to hide or obfuscate. These are public records. So it's clear that by the date, signature and dates that correspond on the documents that are the codicils, that Janelle signed in January, mid-January, Mary signed the next day, Kody signed a couple days after, and Robyn didn't sign until March. So you have to be able to explain, like, how in the world could Mary be holding things up if she was the second person to sign the documents? How is Mary holding it up? It still doesn't make any sense, to be honest with you. But they had to come up with something to explain that. You know, they had to be able to come up with something to explain that. So, yeah. But it was funny. Like, oh yeah, I realized we couldn't do that. You know, but it was real though. It was real. It was real. Janelle was ready to rip the whole family apart. Well, but we realized we couldn't do it. But it was my fault that Robyn did that because, you know, Robyn is the moral compass. She's not submissive. She's got a spine of steel and concrete. Robyn is apparently Plastic Man because she's anything he needs her to be. She's like Wonder Twin powers, you know. Wonder Twin powers activate. Shape of a hawk. And then Kody jump out there, shape of a bucket of water. Zartan, you know. But thank you so much, Mustang Sally. Appreciate it. Ty with the $2 super chat. $2 super chat. What is the extra money he and Robyn put in the Kody Pass? That extra money, look, I will put it like this. They used, Kody and Robyn used they most likely used some of their money from the sale of Robyn's house. Because remember, Robyn's house sold first. Robyn's house sold first. So Robyn, I remember she sat there and made a big deal. My money is sitting in the bank account, just sitting there waiting. And then when everybody decides what they're gonna do, I'm gonna throw my money in. She kept her money separate when she sold her house. Then when Janelle and Mary sold their houses, they took their money and used their money as a down payment to buy Robyn's house. It's also kind of crazy because if you go back to that season, all of a sudden, Robyn had rented one house. It was a bigger house, actually. That was a legit mansion, a house that they rent the first house they rented. Then they lost that house. Then she was confused and she was praying and she was hoping that she could get another house. And that's when they rented the McMansion. They didn't buy the McMansion, they rented the McMansion. Right? Then somehow, miraculously, when Mary and Janelle's house sold, their houses sold, then all of a sudden, they need that money because the guy who has the McMansion wants to sell the McMansion. He want to sell it? Oh my goodness. I'm going to pray that we could find a rental and we could get a rental, a 5-bedroom, 6-bedroom, 4-bed bath, 6 on 16 acres of land rental. Hopefully we can find that in Flagstaff. Those houses are hard as shit to rent because there's not a lot of them around. Like usually if you have a house that big, you're living in it or you're renting it out on a as an Airbnb, like a part-time rental. You're not trying to rent that out for months at a time, right? So they took, what I think happened is I think they took Robyn's money from her house sale and they used that to purchase Kody Pass in their names. So they would have more control over Kody Pass. Then they took the money from the other wives and used that money to invest in Robyn's house. So you take their money tied up in a Robyn's house, you take your money and purchase parts of Kody Pass, which is supposed to be joint assets. So I use your money to buy me an asset, and I use my money to buy more shares of our joint asset. So that way I win no matter what, because my house is now my house. Robyn's house and Kody's house is now their house. And then they own a majority share of Kody Pass. And that's exactly what they did. And I think that's how the math worked. Math magicians. That's how they do it. Hocus pocus, come into focus. Thank you so much, Ty. Then Brittany Not Brittany with the $4.99 super chat said, despite being the legal wife, Robyn is still insecure about her relationship with Kody because she has always conducted herself as a side chick. Yeah. That and the fact that when you lay down with a snake, you always got to be concerned you're going to wake up bit. Let me say that one more again. When you lay down with a snake, you always got to be concerned you're going to wake up bit. She watching Kody screw these other women over. And she knows sooner or later it's going to be her turn. So she always got to try to stay one step ahead of him. You got to stay on his good side so he don't turn that around, that vitriol around on you and focus on you. But you always got to try to stay one step ahead of him so that you can start putting things in place. Then when it comes time for the separation, you can screw him over first. And I think that's what she's kind of struggling with, the duality of that. But thank you so much, Brittany Not Brittany. All right. Appreciate you. Then we had Michelle Woods with the $10 super chat. Robyn must have taken some acting classes over the years, because when she did that, I went to battle monologue. Oh, I went to battle monologue. I felt like I was watching Gladiator. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? she's trying to. This is the last cry of a desperate person. You know, she's trying to hit that point where hit those notes, and she's not quite getting it. She's still missing it because there's no context to her story, but she's definitely doing better than she was before. So there's slight improvement. I agree, Michelle. Appreciate it. Michelle Woods. Are you not entertained? Miss Stormy Love, $2 super chat. No message, just the love. Thank you so much, Stormy. Appreciate you. Let me give you a little something, something. Then we have Raiders Mom with the $1.99 super chat. If the divorce was paperwork shuffle, why take 50%? You would think. Why take anything at all? Right? Why take anything at all, right? I mean, we doing this together, right? It's not a big deal. What we mad about? What we talking about? Why take anything at all? Why would you don't trust me? Kody always made sure his name was on shit legally. And that's the dumb part about this whole shit. I've been saying that from the start. We can sit here and, that's not how they was raised all we want. Look, the bottom line is he wins this game. Him and Robyn win this game because while he's doing stuff the legal way and legally, and he's trying to make sure that his name is on things appropriately, he's signing where he needs to sign. He's deeded where he needs to be deeded, so he has ownership, and his ownership rights and equity and interests are protected. The women, the OG3, they were operating on the law of trust me, bro. They were operating on the law of trust me, bro. It's okay. Yeah. Anything you want to say. Anything you think I said that. If it makes you feel good, that's what I said. Trust me, bro. And that's why they where they are. But thank you so much, Raiders. I appreciate you hitting the microphone tonight. All right. Thank you so much. Then we have Negla3 with the $2 super chat. Said, did any of my super chats get through? Yes, they did. 100%. I just didn't get to them. That's all. But I was working my way through Negla. Negla was like, I will not be silenced. She said, I will not be silenced. Brittany with the $4.99 super chat. Last one, LOL. Robyn being a moral compass explain why her kids look so damn lost all the time. Which way is up? What goes up must come down. Got me spinning. Robyn don't know which way is up, which way is down. And she got them kids confused too. Well, you said this was right and that was wrong. But today is different because it's somebody else. Yes, it's all contingent. Morality, and I can hear her talking to them kids now. Morality is contingent on not what the situation is, but who the players are in the situation. For instance, if I, when I was suing your dad, for child support, my first husband, when I sued my first husband for child support, if he didn't pay child support to me in the amount that I found appropriate, then I had every right to take you guys away or try to sue him and put him in prison. Now, when your dad, Kody, your adoptive father, Kody, he doesn't pay child support for his kids, that's different. See, because when he doesn't pay for his kids, he should not be arrested. He should not be vindicated. He should not be held liable. We should not talk about him not being able to see his kids or being ruled as a deadbeat, a father who abandoned his children. No. See, it's not the situation, it's the people. That's how we decide right from wrong, kids. You understand? And that is why that's why, people people come up with all kinds of crazy reasons why our society is falling apart. That's why our society is falling apart. Because we don't have people who operate on moral principles anymore. They operate on their morality and principles are based on the players, not principles. So you don't have values, you just value certain people or certain things. And as long as it's good for you, then it works for you. You like it's the craziest thing. Like you'll have a mother who has a daughter and a son. If the daughter's not receiving child support, everybody go to jail. Deadbeat dad, he need to pay for these kids. You shouldn't have to raise these kids by yourself. Have a son, have kids, don't pay no child support. When the cops show up, this ridiculous. How you gonna try to arrest my son for not paying child support? They could damn it take care of their own damn kids. This is stupid. Depends on who the person is. It's not the it's not the principle, it's the person. And what I'm seeing with Robyn, it's not the principle, it's the person. Because when Preston supposedly her first husband was doing the same shit that Kody is supposedly doing, then she would sit up there crying, talking about going to war with Preston, how he wasn't shit, and this, that, and other. And this dude was trying to see his kids. Kody ain't even trying to see his kids and talk to his kids. But we all supposed to feel bad for Kody. And Preston's supposed to be the biggest villain in reality TV show history. I mean, go figure. But, like I said, when she uses the term moral compass, I don't put a lot of credence to it for that reason. I mean, that amongst many other reasons. But thank you so much, Brittany. Appreciate it. Then we had Miss Stormy Love with the $2 super chat. Said Kody threatened and tried to intimidate the OGs. Yeah, he did. He did. And that's one of the things too, is that when it came time for the whole like rubber meets the road part of it, I think that Kody revealed himself and who he was because initially he would try to do the love bomb tactic where he would, try to impress them, compliment them, promise them that he would spend time with them, promise them he'd be around them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then when that got old and that didn't work, that stopped working, then all of a sudden it was boot the ass. You understand what I mean? It was a different situation. It was a different situation. All right, Michelle Woods, I'll talk to you later. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for the super chats and stuff. Appreciate you. But I think that was the biggest problem with the whole thing. Is that he tried to intimidate him, he tried to threaten him, but that's only after he tried to be the nice person. And like I was saying before, when the women would talk about, back in the day, Kody was such a good man and he was so nice. I counter that by saying that the man that stands before you today is the man that he always was. The only difference is he feels empowered to be the man that he always was and always wanted to be. That's the only difference. When you stop playing his game, you stop going along with his dumb shit, you stop falling for the, oh, baby, you so pretty, baby, 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 I need you, I want you around, I love you, etc., 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 love bomb bullshit. When you stop going for that, then you're going to start seeing the real dude. That's when, that's when all of the facade falls away and all the niceness falls away and you're dealing with the person he is. This is who he is. He's always been selfish. And we've been like, and I say we, because I genuinely mean we in a real sense. So we have been calling this out for the longest time. Way before Kody passed. Way before Arizona. Way before Vegas. People have been calling this out. that he is not what he appears to be, and that he is setting them up and he is taking advantage of them. People have been calling this out forever, right? And it's just coming now, and it's part of the reason why I think the show is actually still on. The only reason why the show is still on is because it's starting to bear fruit and it's starting to prove people's first assertion of the situation to be correct. People are seeing that they were right. That's why people are still watching the show. But for that, I don't think the show has much of a storyline. I don't think there's much to it. And the people who are watching it, like, I haven't seen anybody. Is there anybody in here new to Sister Wives? Like, never watched Sister Wives before. This is their first season. I'm curious. And I bet I won't get anybody who's like, yeah, I love it. I'm hooked on this shit. The people who watch Sister Wives are the people who've been watching Sister Wives. And the reason why they're still watching Sister Wives is because everything that they thought and they were being told was wrong is now being proved right. When people say that Kody was always going to screw them over if they ever tried to leave, and these women got up there and told that bullshit lie that Robyn told, he said that when you leave, he gonna buy you a house. We know for a fact that that's not true. Because not only has he not bought any of his wives' houses, he's literally screwed them out of money on the way out the door. So not only did he not buy you a house, he took your house. Okay? The house that you've been paying for. So I'm just saying. I 100% agree with that perspective. Like, he threatened to try to intimidate the OGs 100%. And that's just because that's who he is. And I take the next step. I think that that's who he always has been. Well, why didn't he? James, how you going to know him better than they know him? They know him better than you. I submit to you that what you knew the side of Kody that he showed you because you were going along with his bullshit. He didn't have to be the person that he is today because you were doing whatever he wanted. If you give it into him, why would he be nasty at that point? Why would he come out and threaten you at that point if you giving him everything he wants? The threats come when you start to resist. The threats come when you start standing up for yourself. This don't feel right. I don't like this. Why am I signing over my house to you? I don't understand. Why am I giving you my paycheck? So we can support the family. I mean, we all get paid the same amount, Kody. Why am I giving you my check? And you're taking, I'm giving you my check. I have 6 kids. If you, Christina Janelle, I got 6 kids who live in my house that I am responsible for. You live in a house with a woman. Y'all have 5 kids that you're responsible for. And you have 2 incomes. Why are you taking my check to help you with your 5 kids? And you got 2 incomes, and I have to take care of 6 kids, and you going to break me off a little on my check back. Why does that make sense? The second you start asking that question, look, you trying to be in the family or not? You trying to be part of this or not? I got to let you go. But as long as you smiling and you endorsing checks, yeah, you the greatest thing since sliced bread. You smart, you pretty, you special, you gonna be somebody. You a value member of the family. But the second you start saying, no, this shit is dumb. Why am I writing you a check? You get paid the same amount I do. The only difference is there's 2 of you. I got more kids in my house than you do. Why am I giving you my check? Oh, see, now you being difficult. No, I'm being smart. That's a difference. I'm not being difficult. I'm being smart. So yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But thank you so much. Let me give you a little something. Miss Stormy Love. Then we have Caramel Cuties with the $5 super chat. said Robyn upgraded her role from side chick to main chick, but the prize ain't shit. He stank, got a little wink, and is horrible with the money. Now she's stuck with Kody. Yeah, man. Like I said, the hardest thing for Robyn is the reality that when she started, they were doing well. Like they're doing well now financially because their money went up a little bit. But imagine when when you get your raise, if you're Robyn and you're looking at this, you used to have access to 5 checks, right? Then you take off a little money for expenses, things like that. But you basically had 5 checks that you had access to. Christine, Mary, Janelle, Kody's, and yours. Then Christine, Mary, and Janelle leave. You lose 60% of your money. Now you get a little bit of a raise. You get a raise, but you're not just looking at your raise. You're also looking at the fact that if each one of them got $1 million this season and $1 million last season, $1 million the season before, right? You looking at that you just lost out $5 million. Yeah, the two of us made $2 million over this year, over the course of the last 2 years. $2 million a year. But you prospectively could have been making $5 million if these other women would have stayed in line and done the right thing. So she's mad as hell. She's mad as hell. That's why she all bitter, But she's stuck. Yeah, like my man said, one is not the same as having. Like she put herself in a position, and now she's tied to Kody. I tried to come up with an example. And it's cute that she said that story tonight. That I talked to Kody, if we break up, that he gonna have to let me go. Robyn, let me tell you something, sis. If you try to leave Kody, he is not letting you go. He damn sure ain't letting you go with no money. That's proven. So that bullshit is out the door. Like we always say, Robyn gonna clean Kody out. Kody gonna do his damnedest to clean Robyn out too. Let's not just put that all on Robyn. Robyn just gonna magically come in there and tank, and all Kody money gonna disappear. What's gonna happen is, here's my prediction. What's gonna happen is, if they get a divorce, they're going to clean each other out. Because let me give you a little notes to the law. Divorces, especially contested divorces, especially when you're talking about multiple real property, or especially property in the 7 figures worth of real estate, complex litigation. When you start throwing in LLCs, trusts, real estate holdings, etc., the way they get their money, the shaky way they get their money, and how they explain it, crazy, complex litigation. The thing with complex litigation, ladies and gentlemen, complex litigation is very expensive, right? These lawyers are not working for free. Complex litigation is very expensive. So when they try to get greedy and get nasty with one another, they will blow anywhere from 30% to 40% of their assets just on legal fees. Guarantee it. So if they have $1 million, they will spend, of that $1 million, they'll be splitting somewhere around $700,000 a piece. Not a piece, together. So each would come out to about $350,000. And in that equation, the lawyers are going to make out just as much, just as well as the two of them. Actually, it might be more than 30% now I think about it, because you got two different attorneys. So that's why I say cheaper to keep them. That's what they're talking about, because the lawyers are the ones who drive the prices up. The lawyers drive the prices up. And so you get the two of them, like, because Kody's not gonna go quietly into that good night. He ain't just gonna take it on the chin. Be like, I guess Robyn got me. Oh well. She gonna try to sue him for alimony, child support. He's gonna try to strike back and get custody. If not full custody, 50-50 bullshit, so he don't have to pay child support. Then he's also going to try to go after her for the property and how the property is listed and his holding in the properties and how his property is separate from her property and she don't have no rights to it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. She's not going to understand that. They're going to contest every line of that agreement. Everything is going to be stress tested. And all of that is going to cost money. And they're going to go broke. Especially with that 750 HELOC and all that debt they're going to be piling up. They're going to go broke trying to pay for this divorce. They're going to go broke trying to pay for a divorce. Because this is not going to be this is not a quick and dirty. Like this divorce, if they divorce each other, it's not a quick and dirty divorce. It's not going to be one of those like, oh, we just going to file a no fault. And we're going to go down, just sign the documents and go our separate ways. You got real property. You have LLCs. You have trusts. Complex litigation. This is going to be expensive. And it would be kind of cool to see that play out on TV. But neither one of them are going to agree to it. So it is what it is. But thank you so much, Carmel Keys. I appreciate it. All right. Thank you so much. But before we go, I got to drop some videos this week. And I'm telling you, like the hard part of doing this, because I don't like to just drop bullshit to be dropping bullshit. Oh, look, today Robyn got up and she said hello. Watch my 15-minute video. I don't like doing that shit. I like to, if I have something to say, I'll say it. The problem with the way they're doing Sister Wives now, even if you look at the episodes, they don't have anything to talk about. You know, there's nothing to talk about. Like they're talking about like the backdoor deal was an episode and a half at this point. They talked a little bit about Mary and the money that Mary put in. And now I kind of see the groundwork for how they're going to bring up the catfish. Because Kody has to come in and try to justify why he's entitled to more than the 50%. So he's going to bash Mary, and that's why the catfish is going to be so important. And the fact that they're talking about, and I've said this before, the fact that they have to, we're on season 20, and they're going back to a season 8 plot line, storyline. And you're doing a plot point from season 8, the end of season 8 finale, season 9 opener was when the catfish happened. So you're going back almost 11 to 12 seasons to talk about something that's happening now. Talk about it now. This show is Dunsky. It's Dunsky. You know what I mean? And Kody and Robyn will sit there and they'll talk about it like, oh, we're going to take out a 750 HELOC because we're stars and this show is going to stay on. It's already been on for 20 seasons because it's a proven commodity. And then by next season, they start getting them number returns. And then on top of that, if you take out see the secret to the sauce, and just so we're clear, if you have a mortgage on a home and you take out a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, you still owe your mortgage. And you're paying for that HELOC on top of it. So if your mortgage is like $11,000 a month and you take out a loan for $750,000, you run that whole joint up. Like you're looking at maybe anywhere from another $7,000 to $8,000. So you're paying close to 20 grand a month. And then you turn around and the show gets canceled. Oh, Kody and Robyn gonna be sitting there like, are you kidding me? They're gonna be screwed. That's terror. You sit there, You gotta pay $20,000 a month? A month. A month. Like you paying 200 some odd $1,000 a year. 200, was it 200 no wait. You pay $20,000 a month for 12 months. You pay 24, 20, yeah, shit. $240,000 a year just for a place to stay. You might as well move out of that. You might as well move out of that. So that's a crazy. You know, that's a crazy. I just, God bless them. That's crazy. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. My nerves couldn't handle it. My nerves couldn't handle it. That kind of money? No, sir. No, sir. I'd be a nervous wreck. 20,000 a month. Every time I write that check, I would cry. You know what I mean? I'll be, oh, this the month is gonna bounce. I don't know. 20,000 a month. Shit. And like I said, you living high on the hog right now. You're making $1 million a season. But this show, there's no way they're gonna cut that money. Like I look, the way I think about it, and people are saying like Janelle was talking about, she was saying that she wanted to quit. Here's the thing, guys. I can see a world where thanks, Brittany. I can see a world where Janelle, the reason why she might be talking about quitting is because TLC might have started making phone calls, because their numbers are not looking anywhere like they were when they renegotiated the contract to get paid $1 million a season. The numbers are nowhere near that. Season 17 numbers going into season 18 are nowhere near where they are now. Like, so they're like, TLC might be like, look, $1 million a season? Ha! Not likely. And maybe Janelle's putting like a little hardball on it. Like, I ain't coming off no money. I need this money. And TLC like, look, we ain't doing it. We're not fitting to give you another $1 million next season. Especially when you got Kody and Robyn. Because something like this, it's like any job. I don't give a shit whether you're on TV, you working at like in corporate, you working at the local Rite Aid or CVS or some shit, Walgreens. If your boss figure out that you need that job, you have to have that job, they can start making demands and commands on you that normally they might not try to do. Unethical as hell, but yeah, for sure. Like, yeah. Because what's this? Based on Google, while viewership fluctuates, 90 Day Fiancé and his many spinoffs like Before the 90 Days is consistently TLC's biggest franchise, often leading ratings with recent top performers. Yep. Including Bailing Out Loud and 1,000-Pound Sisters, but the 90 Day Fiancé universe generally dominates viewership. Yeah, as far as the past Sister Wives. And those characters ain't getting paid nowhere near $1 million an episode or a season. So, and y'all don't want to talk about nothing? And you don't want to do a tell-all show? Hell, 90 Day Fiancé, they put all their people in the same damn house. They do 90 days, tell-all, unlimited. I forget what it was called. No limits. And they put all of them like not only do they film the tell-all, but they make them all stay in the same mansion or whatever. Like they rent a mansion and they make them all stay in the same house. So as soon as they finish filming for the day, they go back to the mansion and they bring them back out the next day. You know what I mean? And you can't even get these people on the same stage, and they're getting paid $1 million a season. Y'all money about to come up short. Your money about to come up short. But I'm gonna have to let y'all go because I'm gonna have to get some sleep so I can do some things, make some tapes, some vids tomorrow, get some vids out. Make sure you guys peep me on during the course of the week. I'll be releasing videos all week. Talking about this foolishness. That, like I said, the show is drying up because even the tell-all, like we're on the second episode of the tell-all going into the third episode of the tell-all. We've exactly covered 2 issues. We spent 2 hours covering basically 2 issues. And we're not even through the first issue yet. So we're going to go into the next issue on the next. It's going to get carried over into the third installment of the tell-all. This is crazy. Okay. And it's all like old shit. Like nothing is recent. Nothing is new. This is terrible. So, but let me give a huge shout out to our real OG3s, the triumphant, Brittany Not Brittany, Lizzie B in the house, Caramel Cuties, the Mega Mod Squad, as well as let me recognize the folks who were so kind to support the channel through super chats. We have Brittany Not Brittany, Darlene Hall, not only gave super chats but also donated a membership. So make sure you guys check us out on Saturday for the noontime panel. Members live. We have Julianne Kinkle, Ty. We had Sassy Experience, SD Mac in the house. We had Taya Carter in the house. Ty, of course. We had Caramel Cuties. YouTube is my time machine. We had Michelle Woods in the house. We had, of course, Brittany Not Brittany. I think I mentioned her, but I'm not sure. Negla 3 in the house. Shanna Lee in the house for sure. Then we had Lizzie B donated a membership. Thank you so much, Lizzie B. I appreciate you and all your support and everything you do. Mustang Sally helping a player out. Then, of course, we had Miss Stormy Love, Raiders Ma, Negla 3, and Caramel Cuties in the house. Let's give a little something to that, as well as everybody in the chat for keeping it chill, keeping it fun, keeping it light, and most certainly keeping it real, because that's the way we do it around here. But thank you guys so much. Make sure you hit a like on your way out. Subscribe to the channel. If you're not yet subscribed, we're going to be dropping some stuff. We have some fun things planned after the season's over, so I'll make sure you guys are included. So hit that bell for notification. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Big shout out once again to the Mega Mod Squad, Lizzie B, Brittany Not Brittany, and Caramel Cuties. Thank you guys so much for everything that you do. Thank you guys for hanging out with me for this long, this late night, so we can try to work some of this shit out. Make sure you come back for the Tuesday night show. We have the call-in show. You guys can give your thoughts and your perspective on stuff we saw. And if you can't do that, you don't want to do that, you don't want to call into the show, we always have the Thursday Speak Pipe show. Just go to speakpipe.com/mytakeonreality, and you can leave a 90-second message or many 90-second messages, and we'll react to them on Thursday. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. That's my take. I'm James, and this has been My Take on Reality, and I'm...
'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side.